first to the stream. Some Randev is third to the stream.
Everyone, welcome back to the stream. Some Randev, I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that at all. I hadn't even really considered the fact that someone could get more than one. That did not even cross my mind as a possibility.
Cameron Reap wants Moonman to do 10 bicep curls.
We can absolutely do that. We can absolutely do that. Rigged. I'm sorry that it's rigged. I am so sorry. Okay, but here's the question though. How did you redeem 2 at the same time? I know you're going for 3. Obviously we're going with 3. Loki did beat you to the punch. I still don't know how you got 2. Wait. Did you have the stream up on like your computer and your phone and you were just ready, just sitting there, and as soon as it was gonna, you just do it? My guess is you probably also had like something else as well. Or I guess maybe like 3 browser windows. Maybe that? I don't know. That is impressive, though. That is extremely impressive. You got 2 in general. So congratulations on getting 2nd and 3rd. And Loki, congratulations on getting 1st. Not bad at all. Not bad. Spoiled, hello. Hello, welcome. Glad to see you here. Sup, sir? Get good. I mean, Loki, you have somehow stolen the crown from some Randev, which is very impressive. I redeemed 2nd. Baloney. I'm sorry, Seelek. I'm sorry that you redeemed 2nd and it did not happen. I'm so very sorry. But it's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. Here I was thinking, oh, if I add a couple more that people can redeem, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. Nope. It didn't even cross my mind that someone could redeem more than 1. So there we go. There we go. Well, at least I'm the exclusive 65 streaker. What?
Have some art in recognition of that, waiting for alerts in mid competitive for the first, etc.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate that. Thank you. Beep, Hootie Head has appeared. Welcome, Hootie Head. Welcome. Glad to see you here. No one can take that from me. That's true. No one can take your exclusive 65 stream. That is yours and only yours. Yeah. I'm sorry, though. See like that it is rigged. But thank you so much for streaking here in the stream for 3 streams in a row. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Remember, everybody, if you're going to streak anywhere, make sure to streak here in the stream. Let's see. TriCat Development says, hello, welcome. Glad to see you here. Hopefully you're having an absolutely fantastic week so far. I went for 2nd. I mean, it seems like that would be like the safe one to go for, right? Because like 1st, obviously there's gonna be a lot of people going for 1st, and 3rd, I feel like that's probably like gonna be like the most sought after one. But even second, some Randev was ready to go. I took a video of it. Not how it works. I'll post on Discord. I'm excited to see it. Rigged. It's so rigged. Even autocorrect is not fixing it. I just have to put Surd in their place every once in a while. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Every now and then, the ego would get too high if some Randev could not be put in their place. That's true. Add 5. Evening some art in recognition of that waiting for alerts, and it competitive for the 1st, etc. That's right. I did notice that. I did. Hold up now. I did notice something. If I come over here to alerts, we go to the alerts box. Wait for it. Then we go over here to the channel points. 2nd. All right, 2nd. Was something wrong with you? Text to speech. Say alert text. Huh. I don't know why it did not say the alert text. That is very bizarre. Very bizarre indeed. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I guess it's still having weird issues. I don't know why it's having the issues, but it's having weird issues. Oh well. Oh well. Hopefully it will not last forever, though. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Let's see here. Add 5. I will get 4th. Maybe we do need to do 5. Maybe. I'm moving on to place. What?
Cameron Reek just redeemed stream.
And stretch, eh? We're getting close to the trifecta here. Very close. Hey, there's the trifecta.
Cameron Reap wants Moonman to do 10 chest.
I knew it was only a matter of time. Absolutely, we can do that. Absolutely. Let's see. Maybe if I go with 15. I'm trying to get the sound right. I think that's good. Let me know if that music is good. If it feels like background music.
Eclipse Chan.
Eclipse Chan? Where are you? Oh my gosh! Wait, where'd it go? Wait, they are on board. What's happening?
Summoned Moonshine.
Why? The Oran board, what are you doing? What are we doing? Who are you doing? What are you doing? Save. Triggers are disabled while editing a deck. Okay, yeah, no changes detected. Okay.
Brett.
I have no idea what's going on. First of all, why is it not playing the sound, like the alert sounds, the voice of God and the helium voice? Second of all, why is it not doing, what is happening here? Why are things so broken? What happened? Like, it's one thing for the Oran board, like the Oran board, okay, everything seems fine there. I hope, maybe. Air 403 with event sub moderation, hype train begin, hype train process, hype train end. Okay. Okay. Huh. I have no idea. All right, well, first of all, I gotta go in here and I've got to give some points back because I don't know why that's not working. Let's see here. Helium voice, we're gonna reject. Voice of God, we're gonna reject. Moon Chan, Eclipse Chan. I don't know why those are not working. I do not know. I do not know. I gotta go, I guess, going, miss the coin flip by, no, Hootie Hand! I'm so sorry. We're gonna be doing the coin flip here in a little bit, but yeah, it usually does take a little bit of a second to get it. I don't know why things are having such difficulties, though. I may have to turn off some of those things. Okay, let's see, what's something I could test? Has this already been redeemed?
Moonwood Games turned Moonman into a chicken.
Okay, that worked. So maybe things are fixed now.
Mellow Jello 27 says, Yorlim redesigning Oscar BC. He was hard to animate in 8-bit.
That's fair. That's fair. A little bit too much detail, right? But no, I like that. I like that. Well, make sure to post any of the changes. Absolutely, would love to see them. Over on YouTube, we got Tactical Mindscape says, "Hey boss, can you pull up YouTube and type in Hollow Cure and set it to past week? That's entirely my doing. You will laugh and cry." Wait, what? Okay, so we're looking up Hollow Cure. Hold up here. Hold up. What do we got here? What have we got here? Let's see. Your channel. Oh, I just want to go to YouTube, but okay. Hollow Cure. Is this what I'm looking for? Hollow Cure? And set it to past week. Filter. I'm gonna be completely honest, I have not used filters like ever. This week? Are we talking about this week? Okay, yeah, so Hollow Cure, set it to past week. That's entirely my doing. Sponsored? Or this one? This map is brutal, even with Marine? I am so confused what I'm looking at. I honestly, I don't know what I'm looking at. Is it this video specifically? Or is it this one? That's an ad. This one? This one. The Syndicate. What's the Syndicate? I don't see a title of the Syndicate. I don't see text of the Syndicate. All of them? Oh, I see. So head click gaming, nerfed reflexes, Cthulhu, roguelikes. Okay, so that's all a part of the Syndicate. Gotcha. Okay, that makes so much more sense. I was like, what am I looking at here? I don't get it. But that makes way more sense. That makes so much more sense. That is absolutely fantastic, and I love that. I love it. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Holy smokes. I can see the Syndicate is very much so doing fantastic stuff. So very nicely done. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful stuff. I need to, I know I said this before. I'm going to say it again. I am going to catch up on my messages on Discord. Things have just been a little bit crazy the past couple whiles. Past couple whiles have been a little bit crazy. But don't worry, I will get caught up on them. But I do appreciate you sharing. Let's see, had to leave Twitch ad-free for me on YouTube. Hello again. Hey, I'm second on the YouTube stream. That is true. That's true. You are second over on the YouTube stream. And that is fair. That is fair. Yeah, over on YouTube, it is a little bit easier to either block the ads, or if you've got like YouTube Premium and stuff like that, you know, definitely wouldn't say that you should use an ad blocker. But it is definitely easier to block the ads on YouTube. And the ads on YouTube are just so much shorter. Like, they're so much easier to get past on YouTube. It really sucks. I wish the ads were more like YouTube's ads on Twitch. Oh well. Oh well. All right, let's see. What have I missed over here on Twitch? Let's see. She's hiding, and so is God, I guess. Let's see. Scoiled. Welcome, welcome. Glad to see you here with the dancing. Axel. Glad to see you here with the dancing and the eating. Typical stalling. No, I don't stall. I don't stall. I swear. I swear.
Moonman has been super chatted up by Tactical Mindscapes. God bless our beloved chicken coder.
Thank you so much for that. That super chat. I don't know why I could not think of what it was called. I almost called it thank you so much for that blue chat, because it's in a blue box.
Just
it's working. It's working. Hello, I'm Moonchan, or I guess Eclipse Chan, I should say. I literally almost said thank you for that blue chat because it's in a blue box. Thank you for that hyper chat. Now I'm like, wait, is that actually what it's called? Why is the invert not working now? Oh my God, why is everything so broken? Ooh, we'll get to the bottom of all this. I promise we'll get to the bottom of all this. Apparently the invert does not work on Eclipse Chan for some reason, as of right now. Anyway, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I do appreciate that. Okay, let's see. One of them got 100K views. That is impressive. That is very impressive. Oh. Yeah, that is big stuff. That is really big. That is more views than I've ever gotten on a video I've ever uploaded. So, not bad at all. I guess if you're including shorts, then maybe. But videos, do not get that many. Gotta go, I guess. I'll miss the coin flip. Y'all, I'm redesigning Oscar. Let's see, we got another. Is that the same clip? Is that the same clip? What do you got here, Cameron? What do you got here? I wasn't stalling. I wasn't stalling. It was broken. It was broken, okay? It was broken. It was not my fault. It was not my fault. I just knew that y'all were not ready for Eclipse Chan yet, so I had to make sure that she didn't pop up too early on. Now that everything's fixed, everything's good to go. Final way to the coin flip is done to go. All right, let's get the countdown going for the coin flip. So here we go. Start prediction on the heads or tails coin flip. So make sure we have 5 seconds on the clock. Make sure to get in there and put in your. Okay, what is going on with this text to speech? Why is it so broken? I don't know if it's an OBS thing. I don't know if it's a Twitch thing. I don't know what it is, but Dylan, thank you so much for the resub. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. It looks like you are on 8 months, which is absolutely fantastic. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, welcome. Glad to see you here. Hopefully you have an absolutely fantastic week so far. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, so remember everybody, we got 5 minutes on the clock. Make sure to get your predictions in for the coin flip if it's going to be heads or tails, and we will be doing that in the next, I guess, 4 minutes and however many seconds that is. There we go.
Moonman has been super chatted up by @sugars_b_sugars.
Oh my goodness.
Pixel Mooncan might happen before Sunchan.
I think so. Sugars be sugars. Thank you so much for the 200 yen super chat. I do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Pixel Moonchan might happen before Sunchan. I would be down. For that. I 100% would love to see a Pixel Chan. That would be absolutely beautiful. Which I'm assuming, with a comment like that, I'm assuming Scoiled. Hello, welcome. Glad to see you over here on YouTube. If I am incorrect in that, I apologize. But thank you so much for that 200 yen super chat. Thank you so much. I forgot I need to give some hearts on those. Let's see here. Okay. Getting caught up. Let's see here. Melogella says, I will. I believe in you.
What long does it just summoned Moonchan?
Oh, there we go. Hello. Moonchan is here to make everything feel better. Speaking of Footlong Icicle says, I surmise there is a difference between the Eclipse Chan and the vanilla Moonchan. What makes you think that? What makes you think that there is a difference. Also, if there is, what is that difference? Is it something that I should fix, or is it something else? If it's something I should fix, definitely let me know and I will fix it. I will definitely fix it. YouTube is confusing. YouTube is definitely confusing. I know that you would think that for me having a YouTube channel, I would not look at videos and be like, what the freak am I looking at? How do I filter? How do I sort? How do I do anything? But for some reason I do, and I am, and it's tragic. Tragic how, to be fair though, I don't usually search things on YouTube. Now that I think about it, I don't really ever search things. I literally, whatever's in my feed, if it seems like something I'd want to watch, I add it to my watch later and then I watch it later. And that's about how I YouTube. That is how I YouTube. I typically avoid YouTube on mobile because shorts have just taken over like crazy, and I am not a fan of falling down that rabbit hole of shorts. I save my shorts watching or Instagram, where they're not even shorts, they're reels. And that's how I live my life. I looked away for 1 second with what is going on. We were looking up videos because Tactical Mindscapes has put together a syndicate of content creators to all like help grow and do amazing things together. So that is what we were doing. We were taking a look and seeing at all of the absolutely fantastic analytical numbers that have been going on because of it. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this text-to-speech. I am so sorry. I'm gonna have to see if there's something I can do to fix it at some point in time. But Cameron says I do the same, except I don't use watch later. What? Really? Really? Okay. Let's do a poll. Actually, let's do a poll. New poll. Do you use the watch later function on YouTube? Yes? No? I want to know. I actually want to know how many people actually use the watch later. I guess it would be the watch later function, playlist, however you'd want to describe it. The like be able to add videos to a watch later playlist. How many people actually use it? I want to know. I want to know how many people actually use it, because I use it all the time. Like, I rarely, if ever, actually click on a video to play. Like, very rarely, if ever. I will usually add it to my watch later list because I know the algorithm will have probably pulled up a few videos that I'll probably want to watch, and I want to make sure that I don't miss any, because a lot of times with the algorithm, if it feeds you a video and you don't click on it or you don't add it to a playlist or whatever, it may suggest it to you one, maybe two other times, but the more times that you don't click on a video after it has fed it to you, or it has fed it to you, then there's like less likely that it will suggest that channel or that video or anything like that. Okay, apparently a hype train has started and the text-to-speech is not working. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what's going on, but we've got a hype train that has just started, so that's absolutely fantastic. We are currently at 31% of a level 1 hype train. So if we can reach level 1, anybody who has subscribed or donated at least 100 bits will be able to unlock an emote. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure to jump on the train. If not, that is totally fair, totally valid, no worries at all. Let's see here. Goth Chan is better than Eclipse Chan. Well, maybe we'll switch it back. Maybe we'll switch it back.
Longest cheered 69 bits.
Thank you so much for those 69 bits. I appreciate that, Flowing Ice Skull. Thank you so much. Thank you. I am busy. I can tell, Squad. I know you're busy, and no worries at all. I know you're busy. I know you got a lot on your plate. No worries at all. Hopefully things are going well for you, though. I was just gonna marry with the Goth Chan, but no luck today, I guess. Sorry. I'm so sorry, Flowing Icicle. Let's see. We got some screams. We got some scream squirrels. I really hope that things are gonna get better for you. We got some floating bread from Hootie Hand. I think you missed some. I probably did. There's so many messages that have happened. Let's see. Surd crashing out. Eclipse not showing up. Pro streamer. It's true. I really am. What the?
Footlong Icicle gifted 10 subscriptions to the Moonwood Alliance.
Footlong Icicle, thank you so much for those gifted subs. I appreciate it. Holy smokes. Congratulations to everybody who just got a gifted sub. And look at that. You all looked too hard and it has disappeared. It got shy and it disappeared. See what you've done. The goal notification disappeared. I have no idea what the freak is going on here. I don't know if this would be a Twitch thing. Maybe it's a Twitch thing specifically, because it's specific to the alerts. but I don't know if it would be because I have no idea. I have no idea if it's OBS or if it's Twitch. I don't know, and it's absolutely tragic and very sad, but I do appreciate that. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs. I do appreciate it very much so. And yeah, again, congratulations to everybody who just got a gifted sub. Fantastic sub. I can't handle it anymore. Okay, all right. Going back down. I think we have caught up on everything. Let's see. You missed some. Yay. So you're like pumping the 2 of them now, or what? A pip. I was like, hold up now. Hold up now. Let's not make any allegations you can't prove. And you can't prove it. But I'm also not pimping. I promise I'm not pimping them out either. Let's see here. Yes, coin time. That is true. We got ourselves some coin time. So we're going to do the coin time, and then we're going to get the rest of the way caught up on chat, and then we're going to do art. We're going to do the trifecta, and it's going to be an absolute blast of a time. And then we're going to do some game dev stuff. Game dev stream. We're going to do some game dev stuff. It's going to be an absolute blast of a time. So let me actually come over here. I completely forgot to get this pulled up. What the...
Locatrix to gifted 1 subscriptions to the moon.
To the moon! Thank you so much for gifting a subscription to the moon. I appreciate that, Loki. Thank you so much. Oh, you did not have to do that, but I do appreciate it. So thank you. Again, don't know what's going on with that text-to-speech. Very bizarre. It just won't do some of them, or it cuts out on others. Not a clue. Not a clue. Like, unless I wanted to close OBS and try again, but it was doing the same thing on Sunday, so I don't think it's necessarily an OBS thing. But I also feel like if it was a Twitch thing, they would have fixed it by now. I don't know. I really don't know. But that's okay, because at this point, we don't have to worry about it right now. All we have to worry about right now is whether it is going to land on heads or tails. Oh, yeah. Let's make sure it lands on heads or tails, everybody. All right, you know how this goes. We're going to be playing a coin flipping game, heads or tails, and it's going to be slightly different than normal. A normal coin flip, not different than normal. Different than a normal coin flip. Yeah, I can speak words. Anyway, basically the way that this one works is it is a tug-of-war coin flip. So it is the first to have a 3-point lead. So not necessarily the first to get 3, but it is the first to get a 3-point lead. So think in terms of like table tennis and stuff like that. Like you can get to the point, but then as soon you don't actually win until you are X number of points ahead of your opponent. Same thing here. You have to be 3 points ahead of your opponent. So let's see what happens. Let's see. Here we go. Let's flip the first one. I still need to get sound effects in here as well, but there we go. First one is a tails. We are now again at a 50-50 split. Let's see what happens. Here we go. Oh! We got 2 tails. It is going to be a clean sweep, or we're going to have a heads. Is heads going to put up any amount of a fight? Let's see what happens. Oh! We got tails. We've got a clean sweep for tails. Not bad at all. Congratulations if you voted for tails. Very exciting stuff. Very excited and happy for you. If you voted for heads, I apologize. But next time it is going to happen. Not bad at all. Well, yeah, we're going to be doing that, getting all the points out there for the people who voted tails. So congratulations, very nicely done. Everybody, this has been the one, the only, absolutely fantastic heads or tails. Yeah, good times indeed. Well, I guess if you got tails, then it's good times. If you got heads, I guess not as good of times. But still fun. Did you have fun? I know I did. I had fun. It was a good time. All right, let's come over here and manage the prediction. It looks like we had 52% on tails. Well, there we go. It looks like the majority of people should be happy. Oh my gosh. I just realized it was 1 person on heads and 5 people on tails. Well, I'm sure I'm going to catch up on chat and figure out who this 1 person is, but to the 1 person who voted heads, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but next time it's gonna be great. That's tragic. Anyway, tails, congratulations. Very nicely done. Those 2,300 points are going to be going out to everybody, so go enjoy those points. Unless, of course, you voted on heads. Then next time. That's all I gotta say. Next time. It's gonna be absolutely fantastic. It's me, by the way. Oh, okay. I figured it was you. But I still was like a little bit like, maybe. What?
Hypergame Dev
Oh, why? What is happening? don't understand it. But Hyper Game Dip, thank you so much for the 100 bits. I appreciate that. You are too kind, and I do appreciate that. So thank you, thank you. Hopefully I have an absolutely fantastic week so far. I know it's only Tuesday, but still, you gotta have a good week, even if it's just Tuesday. The best I can do, I haven't seen women. I know it may not be a popular info here. Very, very popular in my opinion.
27 says, ah.
I like how even with all the H's, it just, nice, short and sweet. My watch later is a void of more videos than I could ever watch. That's how my watch later also gets to as well. That is how it gets to. Let's see here. Okay, so that was the prediction. Now here's the real question though. Why can I not? Okay, let's dismiss this message. There we go. Okay, is the poll done? It looks like, do you use watch later function on YouTube? It looks like 5 people so far has said no. Wow. That is so surprising to me. I guess it's just because that's how I consume YouTube content. I will literally just like, I'll scroll through for a while, add anything that I'm like, oh, I'd have an interest in that, add it to my watch later list. And then like there will be times where I will add a video to my watch later list, I'll scroll a little bit more, see nothing else that I want to watch, and then I'll jump over to my watch later list and click on the video that I just added to the watch later. So I think at this point, maybe it's just more of like a habit. That's what I do instead of just like clicking on a video to watch. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. I mean, I guess according to 5 people, to 63% of you, I am weird. So there we go. I do the same, except I don't use watch later. So do you just like add it to a playlist then? Just like a regular playlist? YouTube Shorts isn't the best, but the long form videos, YouTube is great. True. I don't use it. Fair. I use watch later 1,000,000%. Good. I'm glad that I'm not, I mean, obviously I'm not the only one, but I'm glad that I'm not being called out for this or something like that. Watching later is my cope for not watching now. Basically a mass procrastination destination. Exactly. Add multiple videos a day. Same. Yeah, I will usually add, I would say on average, probably like 5 to 7-ish videos per day, and I'll maybe make it through like 2 to 3. So like it just slowly grows and grows and grows. And then usually on like the weekends or something like that, like if I'm working on something and I'm not streaming, I will usually have it on in the background. That's kind of how like I get around it. So I keep seeing a thing behind me show up and then disappear. I just realized I have a chair behind me that I forgot to move away from my green screen. That's good times. Kind of use it. Coin flip time. Flying Eyes with the 69 bits. And then the absolutely fantastic gifted sub. So congratulations again to all 10 of you. Also, I forgot to mention, let's get some 07s in the chat for Footlong Eyes for the gifted subs. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Let's see here. Go back farther. Oh no, did I miss even more further back? Okay. I've gone back as far as the chat will allow me to scroll back. Okay, Sub-Surd. Just have to put Surd in their place. Surd crashing out, Eclipse not showing up, Pro Streamer. Those are the only 3 I'm seeing. So if there's more, I don't see him in the chat.
Skoil just summoned Eclipse Chan.
Hello. I'm Eclipse Chan. Welcome to the stream. I have replaced Moon, and I am going to be the one who is going to be doing this whole streamer thing going forward. So there we go. Enjoy your stay. I'm glad you're here. Oh, now I've completely lost my space where I was. Okay, so yeah, let's see. My ex is calling me right now. Well, high school. Good luck. I hope it goes well. You're a good excuse to not talk. Oh, well, there we go. I'm glad that I could be an excuse. Just be like, no, sorry. I was spending time with the moon. I couldn't answer. Sorry. We got some dancing. We got some cats bopping. Mine's the opposite. A vault of my watched videos. I just cleared it out. Hyper! For a reminder, the coin flip prediction timer has ended. It is time for the coin flip. That is true, Hoodian. I apologize for that. We're hitting the classics now. I ain't trying to prove anything. It's fair. That's fair. I mean, you don't need to. You are proof yourself. Let's see, Loki with the gifted sub to Argson. Thank you so much, Loki. I do appreciate that very much so. And congratulations, Argson, for the gifted sub. Now go further back. Stop skipping my messages. I did go further back. I went further back. I went all the way back to the very, very beginning, and there was nothing. Here, let me show you. Look at this. I have gone all the way back to the start. We got Surd crashing out. Actually, no. This is as far back as it'll let me go now. Right? Yeah, that's as far back as I can go now. So Surd crashing out, Eclipse not showing up, Pro Streamer. That is as far back as I can go. I'm just saying. It will not go up no mo. Yeah, I can go down, but it will not go up no mo. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry that it took me so long to get to messages, Loki, that Twitch is now like, nope, that never existed. Never existed. It's all the way back in the past. Back to the past, Samurai Jack. I'm so sorry. The next text-to-speech says, going on vacation. You're going on vacation? Or the next text-to-speech is going on vacation? Probably. Yes, tails never fails. Heads are going to roll if Scoiled gets their way. Wait, Scoiled, were you the one that voted heads? Who voted for heads? That's the real question now. I said.
Trickster says cord.
Cord. Yes, absolutely. We'll check the cord. Heads are going to roll. I said. It's a classic ignoring Loki. Oh, that would make sense. That is the classic right there. Yes, I won. Samurai Devs with 100 bits. Thank you so much, Samurai Dev. I appreciate the 100 bits. Emote. I hope that you got your emote. I really hope so. Yes. So we got a bunch of emojis. Thanks, Scoiled. Is the coin flip one a head before? Yes, it has won heads before. But Scoiled, I believe you. Next time it is going to be heads. I swear. Let's go. Yes, yester stream. From now on, I will vote 1 point on coin flip. Scoiled, no, please. It's worth it. I swear. One of these days, it is going to be worth it. But here's the problem. As soon as you stop, wait, what did I just get? Mood. It's kind of fun. As soon as you get, no. Here's the thing. As soon as you switch over to tails, it's gonna be heads. Or as soon as you're like, I'm just gonna do 1 point, then it's gonna be like, oh, you win, but you only get 1 point back. So you got to keep going. You can't win big if you don't lose big. There's some words of inspiration for you. You got to lose big to win big, right? Let's see. I vote 1,000 modules. Hypergame Dev with the 100 bits. I appreciate that, Hypergame Dev. Thank you so much. I'm 2K away from 10K points. Hootie Hand, you're getting very close. Very close indeed. You could probably get it before the end of the week, or by the end of the week, most likely. I am negative 3K. What a bookmaker the Moon Man is. I bet he will be the first bookmaker on the Moon base. Probably. I mean, if I had to say, and if I had, probably. I don't know where I was going with that. My brain is very tired. Moon, check out General 2. Absolutely, I will. Moonwood, before I leave, when you bring back the dare button, after the demo is out, which will be very soon, I promise. We got the ah. What's the ah? Oh, it's the ah. Wait. Hold up. Info here. Very, very popular. Very popular in my opinion.
27 says ah.
Ah. I like how even with all the H's, it just ah. It's true. Even with all those H's, just ah. Nothing more, nothing less. Just ah. For the next episode of my series, I'm following on Watch Later. It's not a bad way to go. For clarification, the ah was because trying to animate is hard. Oh, it was a scream. It was a scream ah, and it just came out as ah. That's not as fun. I'm sorry. No, just watch my feed or search. Fair. You're not weird. You're unique. That's what my mom always used to tell me. You have seen Breaking Bad, by the way. Yes, I have. It's been a while. I'm actually very excited because here's the thing. It has been so long since I watched Breaking Bad, I cannot remember all the specific details. So while it may not necessarily be like the first time watching Breaking Bad, I think if I went back and watched Breaking Bad again, it will have been so long that I've forgotten so many details. It would almost be like being able to watch it again for the first time, which my wife has never seen it. So I'm kind of like, I feel like I have to go watch it again with my wife so that she can see it, and so we can kind of feel like I'm seeing it for the first time. Obviously, I remember all the major story beats, obviously, but there are some parts that I'm like, I don't really remember exactly what happened. I'm kind of excited for that, not gonna lie. Will I go to Watch Later and watch it from there? No. Then again, I should do that. It's a good idea to have a work playlist. That's what I figure. Got him 07 from Melojello. Does Jesse actually ever say, yeah, he does. It's like episode, wait. He doesn't. He just says, yeah, science. That's all he says. Yeah. I had to think about it for a second, but I'm like, no. No, he just says, yeah, science. There we go. There's one of those, what's the term? It's the, I cannot remember what the term is. But it's like when you think about it and you're like, is it the Berenstein Bears or the Berenstain Bears? And everyone's like, yeah, it's the Berenstein Bears. And it's like, no, it's the Berenstain Bears. Crazy stuff. One, so hard. Hyper cute and colorful emote get. Hey, that's the same one I got. That is, I would say that you won. Because yeah, that's the one I got too. Very excited for it. Fine, check the cord. You waited too long. I'm sorry. Yeah, my crash out was legendary too. Cord. Yes, absolutely. Heads, let me tell you how I voted heads. I'm so sorry, Scold. I'm so sorry that you lost. That's why I always go tails, because if I switch, then I always lose. Okay, bye. All right, hootie head, I appreciate it. Some highlights from the watch later, working on a computer list, 10% unemployment in Skyline City 2. That's a decent amount of things you got in your watch later. That first one was a series, the series I mentioned. You, as a SG1 fan, should not be not familiar to rewatches. True. I do like going back and rewatching things. Oh, especially SG1. SG1 is so good. Which one was it? 5 seasons. Wait. Which one was it? Like, which season was it that he said, yeah, science? Pretty sure it's season 1. If that's what you're meaning. If you're meaning which season is it that he says, yeah, science? It's like, isn't it like episode 1 or 2 that he says, yeah, science? Like, I'm pretty sure. I may be very wrong. But if you're meaning something completely different, then that's understandable. Has anyone watched Game of Verse? If so, thoughts, no spoilers. I've never seen it. Game of Verse is Glitch's new show. Never seen it, never heard of it. That's a gotcha. 5 seasons, that's a gotcha. Wait, the Breaking Bad isn't 5 seasons? Oh, I see. I got you. I was so confused for a second. I was like, wait, what? I got you. All right, everybody. Now that I'm caught up on chat, now that we're 37 minutes into the stream, we're going to go check out Discord. I'm going to finally do the trifecta, and we are then going to get into game dev stuff. So, let me jump in here. I'm going to make sure... wait, that's Twitch. Why do I have a second Twitch open? Maybe that's what's causing the issues, because I have a second Twitch open. We're going to open this. I'm pretty sure this is on Creator Corner. Oh, here we go. Okay, all right. I am going to do this, though, just so we can actually see it. So, let me switch over and show my second monitor so you can actually see. I'm going to come up here. We're going to full screen this. Just so we can all see. Oh, here comes the house. Yes. Oh, it's got a fence. Oh. Knock. Oh, my goodness. You've got the dialogue system working. That is absolutely. But here's the question, though. Either have I not noticed it all, or is that fence new? I feel like that fence is new. Oh my goodness! I love that. That is a really great dialogue system. I love that so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. Oh my goodness. Beautiful stuff. Turn that off. There we go. Oh my goodness, Loki. One of these days, I'm going to be very excited to be able to play this game. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Let's see here. Okay, so we got General. What do we got over here? Steam killed its RPG Maker user tag. Devs are unexpectedly happy. I remember seeing you posted this, and I have not looked at it yet. I also did remember seeing the article about this, and I need to actually go check my tags and make sure that everything's okay. A lot of killed tags were super unhelpful and broad fare. All that sucks, probably for the best, but seeing a cool game I was looking at have that RPG Maker tag next to it made me even more excited. True. Here's a full list of added/removed tags for anyone curious. I'm just going to open that up just so I have it ready to go. I think well written is the removed one that made me chuckle most, and the pool to billiards change made me laugh too. Okay, all right. Just making sure that I'm getting caught up. These I watched soon after adding them. Whatever happened to Domo Kun? I did not even know that he had a name. I'm not gonna lie, I had no idea that was. I mean, I assumed he had to have a name. I just didn't know that he did. This IKEA runs its own fire service. What? That's kind of fun. Like that. Moonwood Games. All right. I can actually take a look now. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Well. Look at this. How did I miss this? How did I miss it? How could this be? I shall force thee to read mine speech like this. I wonder how do everyone redeem the points? My Twitch UI always sabotages me. That's not good. Loki took everything from me. Okay, I'm glad that you screenshotted that. I'm so sad that I missed that. Okay, but where would that have been? I've moved on to place of nature. It's so relaxing and calming. I didn't even see that message. I will be fourth. I do remember reading I will be fourth. But then something must have happened. Something must have happened. Oh, I think that was the same time that I got the super chats over on YouTube. I think that's why I got distracted. That's gotta be it. That's gotta be it. New-ish, but been in other vids. It was before the Surd crash out message. Okay, all right. Beautiful stuff. I'm again very glad that you actually did get a screenshot of that. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. My current watch while working on the computer playlist. Meanwhile, if waiting to see if Winvery gets greenlit. I don't even know what that is. I have not heard of it, but I hope that it does. Fingers crossed. All right, let's take a look at art, and then we're gonna do the trifecta, and then we're gonna do some game dev stuff. The creator of my multiverse, Aurelia. Ooh, that is a beautiful name, and I really like that. That is a good green. I like the greens of the clothes. Really like the hair. Love the would you call them highlights? I guess they're not technically highlights. I love the other color in the hair. This is what I'll say there. Yeah, beautiful stuff. Very nice. And Aurelia in the Elder of Etheria outfit. Beautiful. Love the outfit too. Very nice. It's a nice looking dress. I do like that. I do like that. Really like the are those over her knees? Would those be considered knee pads? Fashionable knee pads. I like it though. I like it. Beautiful stuff. The yay rough body shape. Ooh, I like it. I'd say it's coming along nicely. Very nice for a rough body shape. Yeah, thumbs up. Thumbs up for me. Beautiful stuff. You may be familiar with Aurelia. Yes, she is a recycled character. I guess they're knee pads. That was just the first thing that came to mind. I mean, they obviously look more fashionable than knee pads. But I was like, those are on her knees. I was like, I don't think these are socks. At least I don't think this part here is a sock. I don't know. That's what came to mind for me. So, you know, maybe I'm just weird. Maybe I'm just weird. All right, everybody, let's do the trifecta, and then we're going to jump into game dev stuff, and it's going to be an absolute blast of a time. So let's crank the jams as soon as this next song starts. There we go. All right, let's crank the jams, and let's do the trifecta, and then we're going to jump in, and we're going to do some game dev stuff. So here we go. Here we go. All right, everybody, you know how it goes. 10 on the clock. Count them with me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now it's time for the chest benders. Count them with me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. Time for some stretching. Oh, let's go to the left. And then to the right. Oh, and backwards. My head is gone. What happened to my head? Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Oh. Well, my head's back. Whew, that was close. Thought I'd lost my head forever. That crazy, crazy green screen effect. You never know what's gonna happen to your head. You never know. Oh. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Oh, get the blood pumping. Oh, that feels good. Feels good. Newish, but it was before. It was before. Zerg crash I mentioned. Okay, whew, just making sure that I didn't miss on the chats. Okay, everybody, let's jump in and do some game dev stuff, shall we? So the next thing on the list of the skill tree, because if you remember from the last stream and the stream before that, we were working on the skill tree. So being able to build out your character, customize them, all that fun stuff. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so the skill tree is what we're working on. So we already have the vitality branch of the skill tree all filled out. And then on the last stream, we just finished up the dexterity part of the skill tree, which was a bit of work. It definitely was a little bit longer and more difficult than I was expecting, especially for these last two. Being able to flip the cards, depending on if they are a king, queen, jack, or an ace. Yeah, definitely was way more work than I was expecting. But we did get there, and yeah, it was good times now that we're there. So you should be able to flip the card over if it's one of those, and yeah, happy days. Happy days. I just changed my profile picture over on Discord. Hold up. Hold up. Maybe I have to refresh the page. Both here and Discord? Oh, gotcha. I don't... Maybe... I know you can't see it on here, but I pulled it up. Maybe I am just... There it goes. Okay, now it updated. I was like, this looks the exact same. I was like, maybe I'm not remembering fully well. Didn't save it? Okay, that would make sense. I was like, it looks the same. That looks way better. I love it. I love it. Not way better, but it looks better. I like it. I like it. Very beautiful stuff. I love it. Okay, so yes, we got all that working. Fantastic stuff. So the next is going to be the warding. So the warding is things like, reducing the amount of damage taken or completely negating all damage of specific elements. Oh man, I am so sorry. So, but then I was thinking about it and I was like, okay, if we're gonna do this, because they're all element based, do not realize we do not have any type of like elemental anything going on here, like at all. Because, so basically when it attacks with the cards, it just... I'm trying to think of how we're going to do this, right? Because basically the way these are going to work. So these are warding skills. So you got like the pyro ward. So it blocks a percentage of incoming pyro damage from enemy attacks. But again, they're not doing any specific elemental damage at all. So we're gonna figure that out. I'm not quite sure what we're gonna do here, because either it's got to be one of two things, right? So either it could be one, we make it so when the monsters attack, it utilizes the same elements that like the player would from the cards. Like this would be doing pyro damage. But then it kind of defeats the purpose of having like the different elemental monsters, you know? So we do want to have different elemental monsters, because as of right now, come over here, documents, GitHub, Tomb of Vercilias, images, pictures, monster. There we go. Okay, yeah. So we do have different elemental monsters. Like we have just like so each monster is going to have their regular form. Man, I'm so sorry. Their regular form, their pyro, their geo, their hydro, and their necro forms, I guess would be the way you could put it. And so I'm trying to think about how. I guess what we could do is, instead of basing it off of the cards they draw, we could just base it off of like what they are. So if they are a pyro, yeah, if they are a pyro elemental monster, they will only do pyro damage. Yeah. I would probably still, I think for like the sake of like visuals and making things feel. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, I would probably make it for like visual cohesion. I would probably make it so like if, say for example, if you are up against a pyro slime, they would only draw pyro cards. They wouldn't be drawing mixes and matches of. Yeah. All right, I think we're gonna do that. So, if that's the case, over on YouTube, Jesse says, hi, hello, Jesse, welcome, glad to see you here. Hopefully you have an absolutely fantastic week so far. I know it's only Tuesday, but still, gotta have a good week even if it's on a Tuesday. So, welcome, glad to see you here. Sorry, I have like a lumbar support. It's absolute garbage, but I have like a lumbar support like tightening knob, and I couldn't remember which way was to make it not be lumbar supporty. I had to fix that. That's my bad. Sorry. The one thing that makes YouTube streams better is you can see profile pictures in chat. That I was gonna say, that is the thing. I do not see anybody's profile pictures in the chat, but I do see them on YouTube. Sounds like a comb you're rubbing fingers across. Really? That's lumbar support right there. Not good, but it's there. It's technically there. It's like literally one of the, like, you know how they say like, what the?
We reached our followers goal of 580.
Why didn't it say who followed?
Thank you everyone.
Jojuga93, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Welcome. Glad to see you here. Hopefully you have an absolutely fantastic week so far. We're having some weird text-to-speech issues tonight. I don't know why. Very bizarre stuff, but I do appreciate the follow, so thank you. Stop playing with your lumbar under the table on stream. I'm sorry, but I have a hard time not playing with my lumbar on stream. Yeah, that's how I'm going to make a name for myself. I'm going to become infamous. I will have one of those streams where everybody goes, "Ooh, that's awkward," kind of a thing. You all know. You know. And if it weren't me, I'd go with enemies being elemental and possibly give them a small bonus damage if they play cards of the matching element, like 1 or 2. Oh, okay. So don't necessarily make it so that they will all, it's like if it's a pyro elemental, don't necessarily make it so they will always draw pyro, but if they do, then they do extra damage. I like that idea. That would be fun. That would be a good time. Say what now? I mean, I'm just kidding. I will not become infamous that way. Of all of the times for you to start listening in, it's got to be right as I say that, huh? Hello. We're just gonna move on now. Jesse, I really like that idea. I think that'd be a lot better to do something like that. Instead of making it so they only draw pyro cards or geo cards or hydro cards or necro cards. Yeah, just make it so when they do draw those cards, they do more damage. I like that. That'd be cool. Look at him go. I like how it struggles so much to load pictures that I can't just like quickly go back and forth. Oh, Windows 11. It's the best. Wait, what is this? I wasn't paying enough attention to understand context here. What was it? That would be a good time. Oh, yeah. Well, you see, here's the context. I accidentally spun a dial on my chair, and it's basically like a way to like tighten the lumbar support on my chair. And you can hear the clicking there. So that's it adjusting the lumbar support. And then I was told to stop playing with my lumbar under the table. And then I said, I like playing with my lumbar under the table. And I said that's how I was going to become infamous. Yeah. Hi, Sumrenda. 07s. We got the 007. I guess it's the 770. The 077. So it's not the 007, it's the 077. You know, 007's infamous cousin. So how are we gonna do this though? How are we gonna do this? Because I do really like this idea. I can also scale if so bosses and stronger monsters get more bonus damage. That would be cool. I really like that. Okay, we're doing it that way. We're doing it that way. There are going to have to be a little bit of changes, just a few minor changes, some tweaks. We'll call them tweaks. There's going to have to be some minor tweaks to the battle system to make this work. But I promise I am not changing the battle system. I promise we're not changing the battle system. We're just making a few minor tweaks. It's going to be okay. I promise. And it's going to be great once it's all done. I promise. It's going to be fantastic. Trust me. That's when you salute with both hands. But one you awkwardly reach around so it comes from the same side. You're like, oh, hello. I feel like that's like the perfect O77 right there. That's like a beautiful angular. Should I be more angular with my O7s? Hello, welcome to the stream. Perfect form, 10 out of 10. My newest O7 invention since the cow lick salute 6-7. It's mostly German. Wait. Lurking to Sharky check. So Sharky check is mostly German. That would make sense why I have no idea what it is. That's never heard of it. Never heard of it. Okay, so how are we gonna change this? Well, over here. Player bust. This is where the actual player damage is happening. Yeah. Remove player hand 1, remove player hand 2. Monster attack, hand 1 plus clear card. I guess that's this whole thing right here. Increase your chance of dodging incoming enemy attacks. We do have that. Sorry, I'm considering some potential flaws with this. And that is, we have Serpentine, which gives you a small chance to potentially dodge incoming attacks. And that's just across the board, it dodges those attacks. So, do we want to tack that on to that dodge chance? Or is that going to be something completely different? I feel like that just is something completely different. So maybe we'll say you have a chance to dodge, a 20% chance to dodge incoming attacks. I did not think about that until now. Serpentine basically covers every single element. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna do the wards first. I actually think I need to change a bit more. Because as of right now, when the monster attacks, they do one attack. When they attack, it is literally just one hit. Doesn't matter how many cards they've drawn, it just does one general hit. It goes, okay, the player busted, monster gets to attack, it consumes all of its cards and attacks. But I think what we're going to want to do is we need to have each attack be separate. Kind of like how the player's attacks are with the monster, where when it attacks, it does it sequentially. So it's like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 until all the cards are gone. I think we need to change it to that. So, remove the monster's cards. So how are we doing this? Yeah. Okay. So we basically need to recreate this whole thing, but for the monster. That should be all right. Yeah. I hope so. Yeah, so this guy right here, we need to essentially remove this whole thing and replace it. Okay. So I guess let's throw that in there. We have this loop here. So we need to get all of this to work like this one. Yeah. Should be pretty similar though, actually, right? Although today's mostly English? That's kind of bizarre if it's a mostly German show. That would be mostly English. It's kind of a little different. Where's the actual moving of the pictures? This guy right here? Ran by Germans, my Sharky instance, the context seems to have been defrated. Not quite sure what you're trying to say. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I'm not sure what that means. I'm assuming typo? If not, I have no idea what defrated means. I may need an explainer. Okay. Defedrated. Halifax, I appreciate that. Thank you for some chatter. Also, I see. I appreciate that. Defederated. Well, we're just gonna end the stream there. Oh my god.
Thanks for the follow, Halifax.
Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Like it doesn't federate with other activities. I was like, what? That makes a lot more sense. I appreciate that. Thank you for walking me through that. My brain was not braining, and I apologize. But thank you. Yes, thank you. It's where a social media is not owned by Meta. That makes way more sense. Yeah, I don't know why my brain was not braining, but it was not braining, and I'm glad that you walked me through that, held my hand, made sure I made it to the other side, and I do appreciate it. So thank you. Cameron, I'm Hacky Derm. I'm on Hacky Derm. Small world. Very small world. All right. So, yeah. Okay. So here's how we're doing this. Cards to move equals cards drawn. We don't want to do that. We want to say cards move. Cards to move -1. Monster cards drawn. Oh, there we go. Okay, so 81. Okay, so basically we want to say set U equal to variable 81. Monster cards drawn. And then we're just going to say something like monster attack. And then we're going to say move picture 122. Plus 1080. Now we want to move this. I guess. Oh, wait, no, we can just utilize. Okay, never mind. We don't have to set this variable. We can just do this. And then we'll just say, just for now, like, I'm not going to worry about animating the picture to anything crazy. We'll just get that later. So animate the picture. Waits for 9 frames. This animates over the course of 20 frames. And then why am I... Wait, what? Huh. I could have sworn they had a flash picture. I guess not. That would make sense why I'm doing tint picture. Okay. That's how I'm essentially getting the flash going. All right. So, if that's the case, I need to see... Where is it showing? Dungeon UI, face. Face is 6. Monster attack. We want to flash image 6, which is the player's face. Oh, we probably want to wait the full... We'll just do that for now. Okay, so it flashes the player. And then we're going to say, let's do elemental damage. Monster cards drawn -1. Let's cut that. Delete. You want to keep you. Let's paste that there. Essentially what we're going to do is if the player dodges, then we don't want to allow it to flash the screen. Skip. Jump to label player, skip player damage. Okay, so basically we're moving the picture. So we move the picture, wait for 9 frames, and then monster cards drawn, -1. And if monster cards drawn is less than 0, we don't want to do that. Is there an else on here? There is no else. Elemental damage. Written Barret. Cards to move. I should have backed up this page before I started making all these changes. Oh well! See, Ink says, hello, Moonwood. Hello, Ink. Welcome. Glad to see you here. Hopefully you're having an absolutely fantastic evening so far. How's life going? Hopefully well. Hopefully well for you. Yeah, today's been okay. It's good. That's good to hear. I mean, I wish it was, like, great, but okay is better than bad, so there's that. There's that. All right. Come on, brain. Let's focus. Okay, so flashes the screen. We're not going to do that yet. We need that to be after. We're going to say monster cards drawn if you're less than 0. We don't want that because monster cards drawn, there's no if or there's no else here. That's what I'm so confused by. Then we'll just jump down to here. Barrett, HP's below, percentage, do double damage. I don't know. I definitely should have like made a copy of this just before. Oh well, we'll figure it out. I made it once. If I break it, I'll make it again. So, okay. I think what we want to do is we want to get rid of this section here. First, we just want to say, reduce monster cards drawn, add this. So, if the player has Serpentine, then we just want to see if you're going to dodge. So, set it to 1 in 100. If you do that, then get player damage. Okay. We are going to need a label down here titled get player damage. Before that, we want to put the player's damage here. Okay. So we'll flash the screen, or we'll flash the player if they're taking damage. This is the dodge chance. If you don't dodge, then you come down here. We do this. Okay. Now here's where we actually need to do the damage to the player. If monsters cards drawn is less than 0, so if double down H1 is on. Player's HP minus monster attack. Definitely want to have that. Let's see, Dan Turner over on YouTube says, I remember entering a small game into Don Miguel's Dungeon Crawler contest in 2000 and 2001. Good times. That is very good times. That is very good times. That is, I mean, first of all, very long time ago, but also absolutely fantastic stuff. Don Miguel. Where I would be in my life right now without Don, I don't know. But I'm forever grateful for what Don Miguel did for, well, for me, honestly. Like, I got my start at RPG Maker 2000, and I would not have if I had not had that translated version. Beautiful stuff. Also, welcome. Glad to see you here. Hopefully, you have an absolutely fantastic week so far. That is really cool. That is really cool that I had. I mean, obviously, back in 2001, I would have been 10, so obviously, I didn't really know much about anything like that that was going on. Especially because back then, we had dial-up internet, and I didn't even have access to the dial-up internet. We just had it in our house that my dad would use every now and then. It definitely was not super active online to even know that content was going on. But that was really cool. That's really cool. I like that. All right. So, if the player takes damage, we want to flash the player red. We want to reduce the player's HP by the monster attack. But that's not exactly what we want to do. Do we want to say it's going to do double damage? This is where I'm kind of torn. So I don't know if we necessarily want to do double damage if it's an elemental monster doing elemental damage. I guess we could also just say like, oh, it increases it by like 50% or something. We could do that. I guess let's just get the damage based on each card hitting working, and then after that, then we'll kind of, move on and just kind of see what we can get going from there. Same here, that early version of RPG Maker 2000 was where I started. Good times. I still remember back in the day, because, obviously I was like 10, and it was like the first time I was ever trying to do anything like this. I still remember I could never remember how to create a new map, and so I ended up having my brother create like 50 maps in my project just so I would have the maps just ready to go. So it was just like 50 blank maps that he just created. I don't know why. I don't know why it was so complicated for me back in the day. I was like, how do you create a new map? And like, it's a 2-step process basically. But I was so like, what if I do something wrong? What if I break it? And I was just like, if you can just create like 50 maps for me, I will then go in and just fill them in later. And so, yeah, so he ended up doing that. Good times, good times. I still use a cracked version of Character Maker at $19.99 for my pixel art. I like that. I like that. I mean, I won't say anything about it to anybody, but I like that. Very nice. I would do a small static bonus of 1 or 2 points, then adjust. Double damage sounds intense as heck. And that's kind of what I'm figuring. I'm like, doing double definitely sounds not great. But what we could do is we could do it percentage based. So we could say like,
says, what are we working on?
We are working on, well, you know how like when you go to change a light bulb and when you go to get a spare light bulb, you open up the drawer and the drawer is squeaky. So then you need to go find your WD-40 so you can unsqueakify the drawer. When you go to get the WD-40, something else breaks, then you got to fix that thing. That's basically what we're doing right now. So essentially, here's what we're doing. So we're still working on the skill tree. The skill tree is still what is the current process that we're trying to get going. But in the skill tree, we're now moved on to the warding branch of that skill tree. And yeah, so basically we are going to be getting these pyro, geo, hydro, and necro wards working, and we also need to get the negation working as well, which is essentially, it's making it so you can reduce the amount of elemental damage that you will take when the monsters attack you. So specifically with, like, say, the pyro ward, if you have this, it blocks a percentage of incoming pyro damage from enemies' attacks. The problem with that is that the enemies don't necessarily do elemental damage to the monster, to the player. Like the player and the monster is just doing a set, the monster is doing X amount of damage, and it does that damage, and that's all they do. It doesn't take into account any kind of elemental anything. So I needed to go in and change it so that it would actually take into account, is this elemental monster doing elemental damage? And then Jesse suggested a really great idea, which is basically have it so that, like, say, for example, if you were coming up against a hydro gargoyle, so if it is a hydro gargoyle, basically the idea is they don't necessarily only do hydro damage, but what it would do is if they are doing hydro damage, it is going to do a little bit more damage. And so that's kind of where we're talking of, like, well, maybe if it does, if they do like 25% more damage or something like that, that might be a good middle ground of, like, oh, if this hydro gargoyle is doing hydro damage, make it do slightly more than just the regular, like, pyro, geo, or necro damage. We could also do something to the point of, if the enemy is doing, so, like, say, for example, if they are a hydro gargoyle and if they go to do pyro damage, maybe it does 75% damage or something like that. So it does more of the element they are, but then less of the element they're weak to. Maybe. We could definitely do something like that. But before I could do that, I need to make it so that anytime the gargoyle is actually attacking with a card, it does an attack. Because basically, as of right now, when the player wins, each card does X number of damage. So if I were to attack with his Geo card, it would do 0 damage, and then the Hydro card would do 1 damage, because that is what my skills currently are set to. But the monster does not currently function like that. The monster currently functions as, if the monster has the winning hand or the player has the losing hand, essentially, the monster attacks in one swing, and it doesn't matter how many cards they have, they will just do that damage, right? Like he will do 1 damage. That number up there in the corner, the 1, that is how much damage the monster does. So yeah, so they take a swing, it does 1 damage, that's it. But I want to change it to the point where every single one of their cards does damage when it attacks. So if this guy were to win with 2 cards, let's say, for example, if he were to draw an ace and suddenly he had a 17, I guess that would be a 20. If he had anything above a 16, essentially. So if he had a winning hand after this, I would want it to attack with both cards. Not both cards meaning just an attack, but 2 separate attacks of damage. So that is what we're currently getting working. We need to get it so that each of the enemy's cards will attack per attack. And then we need to get it to the point where the monster is then doing elemental damage. And then after that, we need to make it so the player can then block that elemental damage to a certain extent. Yeah. up to 20%. And that is just a flat 20%. Like, all the time. Flat 20%. The negation works a little bit different, because this is just a chance to not take any damage. So you can get up to a 20% chance to not take pyro damage. Yeah. So anyway, that's what we got going on as of right now. Trying to get that system working. Yeah. So hopefully should be a good time. So an early 90s point and click adventure game side quest. Exactly. Yeah. You gotta find. Oh my gosh, what was he, a tick? You gotta find the tick before you can look through the wall. Was it a tick? King's Quest 6. Look through wall. I swear it was a tick. Generally refers to either collecting the magical inventory item called the hole in the wall, or using the catacomb to spy on the Minotaur. I swear it was a tick, but I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe I'm just remembering things funny. Anyway, there's a random thought for you. You can think about King's Quest 6. Let's see here. I would do a small static bonus. Doubling damage. It sounds intense. That's true. Yeah. So like you were saying, Jesse, I do kind of think that we will probably say we could probably do like 25% damage or something like that. And honestly, what we could do.
The Inkwell says, never played any of the King's Quest game SD.
You're missing out. You're missing out. King's Quest, oh my gosh, like so freaking good. Okay, if you have never played any of the King's Quest games, highly recommend King's Quest 6. King's Quest 6 is so good. Like, just I feel like this is like the pinnacle of point and click adventure. It's fully voice acted. The characters are all so whimsical and fun. There's so many like mythical references and like storybook references, and just all of it is just so much fun. Like it's just a fun game. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. How'd you like mythology? Well, there you go. There you go. If you want to play a game where you have to fight a Minotaur, this is the one for you. Yeah, King's Quest 6, so much fun. And then King's Quest 5 is also a really good one. It's hard for me to recommend, especially like unless someone has played a lot of point and click games, especially like 80s and 90s point and click games. It's difficult for me to want to recommend like King's Quest 1 or 2 or even 3. Oh my gosh, freaking, or 4. There's so many parts in that game. Like King's Quest 2, I think it is. They're like basically the entire beginning of the game. If you get caught in the wrong areas, you're just dead. You get killed by a wizard. He's like, you're not supposed to be in here. Dead. Yeah. Very hardcore stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. King's Quest 6 is also like that. King's Quest 7, they're known for like, you know, how brutal they are. But I feel like once you kind of got to like King's Quest 5, 6, and 7, it was like slightly less brutal. It was still hard. Don't get me wrong. Very difficult games. But I feel like it was slightly less brutal in terms of like frustration. Like if you died, it felt like it was deserved. Older King's Quest and Space Quest, you died and you're just like, okay, sure, whatever you say. Point and click games have never been on my radar. Oh. Well, never mind then. Sorry, you brought it up, and so I thought you were maybe like a huge fan, so that's why I was kind of going on a tangent. Townhouse still works wonderfully in Windows 10. That is actually very surprising that a cracked copy is still working well in Windows 10. The fixed perspective in the Or Dungeon scene reminds me of the NES game Shadowgate. Ooh. What do we got here? Shadowgate NES. You know what? Funny enough, I've never played Shadowgate, but I can definitely see kind of where you're coming from with that. Funny enough, it's actually when I first made this perspective, I was basing it off of, oh my gosh, what's that game called? It was a Game Boy game. Dagger. The Dagger. Crap, what was it called? I don't think it's called Dagger. The dude has Is it Sword of Justice? Sword of Justice? Sword of Hope. Sword of Hope. That's what it was. Sword of Hope. Yes. He has a dagger birthmark. That's what it was. Yeah. So basically, I kind of was going for the feel of the maps in Sword of Hope. So if we go, not good screenshots because like definitely was not in color. But yeah, it basically looks very similar to that. Actually, that is 100% just wait. Sword of Hope. That's Shadowgate right here. And then it's saying that this is Sword of Hope. It's the same thing. Anyway, yeah, so basically just very simple first-person perspective of the world that you're in is kind of what I was going for. It was a point-and-click styled game where each room of a castle had doors in potentially 8 different directions. Yeah, so my game does not necessarily have 8 different directions, but it does have 4. It does have 4. So yeah, so that's kind of honestly the vibe that I'm going for is like late 80s, early 90s, like dungeon crawling, CRPGs essentially. I mean, I guess really any kind of RPG, but essentially, especially old school computer RPGs. It's honestly what I'm trying to recreate, the vibe and the look and the feel. So yeah, so it's obviously not an actual, you know, it is a first person perspective, but it's not like, you know, you're not actually seeing the full on. So anyway, so all that to say, yes, definitely kind of going for a little bit more of that vibe and feel. But yeah. So I'm glad that you're seeing it and that you're liking the vibe and feel of it. So anyway, yeah, good times there.
Says, hey, go off on as many tangents as you want. I support.
I'm glad you support the tangent.
Percent.
Oh, hello. How's it going? Everybody, we have 2 guests. 2 guests to come and say hello. Want to come say hello? Want to come say hi? She comes in out of nowhere. And your head is missing. Hold up. I'm gonna turn on the bigger camera and we're gonna go to filter. Turn that off. There we go. Now you can actually see. Now we can actually see you. Get in here and say hi to the people. And the cat. The cat can come too. Say if you're gonna come all the way down here, you gotta say hi. No. Cameron says, hey, cleric. Good stuff. Glad. That was fast. Thought it was going to take delivery. Like, get out of here with that. And I have no idea where the cat went. She has vanished. Probably found some place to hide. Who knows where she hid? I gotta turn that back on so you can, so it does even better with the green screen. Let's see here. Oh my goodness, wait, I have missed so much. What have I missed? What's going on here? Let's see, point and click games, never been on my radar. I don't hate them, but I kind of want to go back and play some of them because they influence parts of the original Resident Evil. Fair. It is legit. If a legit copy works, then more than likely cracks will allow it to. I mean, that's a good point. That's a good point, Cameron. Halifax says there's also Deja Vu like Shadowgate. I'm gonna have to look that one up. Hey, go off on as many tangents as you want. Oh, wait. I thought that one did play. Maybe I'm just confused. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, the text to speeches have been having some weird issues tonight. My apologies. Squad says, oh, damn, my TTS got an error. No, that's not good. Oh, it's because the text to speech. Okay. I was like, For some reason, I got confused because I was briefly looking over them from Scoiled to go into the inkwell. I thought you were meaning that the text-to-speech in general was giving you an error. I think it's because it's the whole timeout thing. Hey, kitty! It was a kitty, and the kitty just kind of appeared out of nowhere. That was a good time. Yeah, hey, cleric. Got some waves, got some dances. There's a beef fire in SoCal. That's not good, Cameron. That is very bad, actually. I hope the beef fire calms down soon. I hope. A what? I wasn't gonna ask at the risk of not sounding intelligent. But yeah, what's a beef fire? Is that just like, is there a cow farm that's on fire? I feel like we're gonna need a little bit of explanation there. Let's see here. The fixed perspective and your dungeon crawlers scene reminds me of a Shadowgate. It's a point-and-click style game. Yeah, the Sierra games were infamous for killing you in silly ways. It's true. Honestly, when I was a kid, I kind of wanted to mess up as much as possible so that I could see like all the different ways you could die. It was I don't know. Maybe it was like a morbid curiosity to see like, will this actually kill me? More often than not, definitely would. Definitely would. AKA wildfire. That makes a lot more sense. That actually makes way more sense. Sadly, I'm off to bed. I'm exhausted. Jesse, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Hopefully, you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your evening, and hopefully, we'll see you on a future stream. Sword of Justice. Yeah, at least you got me on the right direction. I can never remember for some reason Sword of Hope. I loved that game as a kid, though. It was a good time. Take it easy, Moon Man and Space Crew. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you. And then we got Sword of Hope. I was close. That's true. You were very close. Very close. I see where I pulled Sword of Justice from, a Japanese metal album by the artist SSH. Oh. I feel like I'm gonna have to look up that album now. I'm always looking for some good new. Okay. Especially if it's Japanese metal. Always down. All right. So,
Goil says,
where were we?
GTG Moon Man, I need to buy some stuff for new house. I hope you can make a progress today. See you again.
Scoiled, I appreciate that. I hope that I will make progress as well. We're gonna see what happens. But thank you for that. I do appreciate that. Good luck going to get into new stuff. Hopefully that all goes well. And yeah, I hope that you're enjoying the new place. I hope that being out in nature and away from the city is better. Your health, both mental and physical. So I'm happy for you. All right, so let's. I think we can get back in here and see what's going on here. So. I feel like there was something else that I was looking at, but now I don't remember what it was. So, oh well, we're good. Okay, so this clears the player's hands, now the monster's hands. So this moves the picture. It reduces the amount of cards drawn by 1. And then if you have this dex skill, which is Serpentine, it allows you to potentially dodge the monster's attack. Which if that's the case, it then jumps to skip player damage, which would then skip to here. But if not, then you will come down here. It's better and amazing and superior. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, honestly, getting out of the city, it's worth it. It's worth it. Even if there's like, some things are going to be missing, maybe not everything's going to be absolutely fantastic. I would say it is worth it just to be away from it all and you're able to just like actually have fresh air to breathe, peace and quiet. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, so if you do take damage though, so we want to flash the player red. We want to do the damage to the player. Okay. So, at that point, so what all is going on here? If double down H1 is on, that 67 equals 67 minus 68 times 674 divided by 1. Absolutely fantastic to being in nature. It's heaven. It is a good time to be in heaven, or to be in nature. It is like heaven to be in nature. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Well, I'm glad. I'm very glad to hear that. That makes me happy. I'm not gonna lie, it seemed like at first you were maybe sad or worried about it, and so I was worried about the fact that you were moving, but now that I know that it's been so absolutely fantastic, I'm very excited and very happy. So, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what all that is for. So, as we usually do, I'm just going to create a backup of that just so I can go back and reference it if we need to Okay. So, Then we do elemental damage. This is if the
Go into
picture
the
name
inkwell says, random dinosaur fact of the day.
Let's hear it.
Dinosaurs were around for about 165 million years.
We've got a long way to go if we want to somehow outpace the dinosaurs' life. Long way to go. That is a long time for a species to exist. Holy crap. 165 million years is bonk. Absolutely insane. Like, could you... yeah, that's crazy. You know, I sometimes wish... I wish that time machines existed, not necessarily to go back and, like, change things about my own specific life, but could you imagine being able to, like, go back in time, or like, to go to specific points in time, and just be able to see, like, the evolution of different, like, creatures that have lived on this planet for so long. Like being able to see, you know, species after species after species as it, like, changes and evolves and just goes from, like, one thing to the next to the next to the next. It would be absolutely wild. Like, obviously, you know, you would need a time machine because you'd have to be going, you know, hundreds of thousands, millions of years into the future every single time to see, like, the major changes. I think it'd be so cool to, like, be able to see those changes happen. Yeah. Never gonna happen. Never gonna be able to do something like that. It'd be cool if you could. Not just one species. No, sorry. I wasn't meaning that it was just one species of dinosaur. I do know that that was like, you know, over time they were evolving and changing, and you know, new dinosaurs appear, old ones disappear, some go extinct, some. I'm just meaning, like, in general, which is kind of was meaning, like, the human race in general, because I mean, even the human race, like, over the course of our lifetime or our existence has changed and shifted over time, and so, you know, kind of be the same thing there, but over the course of, well, 175 or 165 million years. Like, could you imagine being able to go 165 million years in the future, and if humans were still around, what humans would look like then? Kind of crazy stuff. Kind of crazy stuff if you think about it. Anyway, getting back to this. This is all the elemental damage. This is checking to see what the cards look like and then how much damage they are going to be doing there. Let's... Technically, we need to throw this in here. Crap. That was... Okay, coming back over here. Player bust. Let's cut that and put that above there. But we do need to do a little bit of this. I just need to... Oh my gosh, why? Thank you. Like, the box to, like, click and get right there on the end is very, very particular. Okay, so let's comment out all those lines of code. We are going to need them, at least as reference. Yeah. Let's see here. Okay. Get player damage. Now you. If variable 50 divided by 51. So if the player's health divided by player max health plus max health times 661 divided by 100 is less than or equal to 703 times 10 divided by 100. Then vitality skill 3, grit and bear it. If HP is below X damage, do okay. So we don't actually need to take it because this is the monster's damage, not the player's damage. So we don't need to take that into consideration. Cards to move -1. If cards to move is less than or equal to 0, then wait for 15 frames. Turn off double down. We don't need to worry about that. Break them. Okay. So we can actually need to check if 81. So if 81 is less than or equal to 0. Wait for 15 frames. Break the loop. Cool. So that should allow the monster to attack with every consecutive card. Not just one big attack, but like individual attacks, which should be the first step to what we need. So long as that's the case, then I think we can come over here. We can get rid of this loop. So monster attack H1 plus clear cards. I think we can get rid of that. There, just for reference later if we need. Okay, so you jump to skip player damage. Skip player damage is right there. If break the loop, repeat above. This, skip player damage. So, let's get rid of this, I suppose. We don't want to jump out to here. We need to loop through all the... Yeah. Yes, then if player's HP is less than or equal to 0, then just call the common event, player death. Monster's HP is greater than 0, wait for 20 frames. I don't know what that's for. But it seems important, so I'm going to leave it. Okay, so with all of that, I should be able to be attacked by a monster and get hit multiple times if they win. Let's come over here. Let's turn the monsters back on. Yo. I love how much more flexible Modern RPG Maker is, but that tiny script window hurts my feelings. That, honestly, like, that is probably my biggest complaint. Actually, I have 2 complaints. I have 2 complaints about, actually, technically 3, about Modern RPG Maker. One of them is something that's never been in here, which is basically the conditions section of the events. I know this has basically been the exact same as it's been since the very beginning. I wish that you could set up your own conditions. I wish this condition window right here was essentially just this window, where you could have things like, you know, not only switches, variables, but you could also say add more and more and more conditions. Like just like a scrolling window here where you could say, hey, I want this page to be on if 20 different switches are on. I want this page to be on if 6 different variables are being checked. Self switches, items, actors. I want you to be able to base it off of timers. I want you to be able to base it off of, I don't know, friggin' vehicles and gold and stuff like that. Like, I don't know why they are so limited in their page condition. Now, I know technically you could just not have a page condition and then you could come in here and add your own conditional branch and say, hey, if gold is greater than, 67, then do this thing and just have it set to parallel process, and it will just constantly be running in the background. And then, if you just add a wait here of like 3 frames or something like that, the amount of load on the system is not going to be that much. And then as soon as that condition hits, you're good to go. But it would just be so much more simple if they just made it so you could customize the condition. That is the number 1 thing that I wish. Number 2 thing that I wish is the variables themselves, because you can only check if a variable is greater than or equal to X. But in RPG Maker 2003, you could change that. You could say if you are equal to, if you are not equal to, if you are less than. You could do those things with the variables in RPG Maker 2003. So I don't know why they got rid of that. I feel like it was very useful. I wish they would add that back. And then the other thing is, yes, the freaking script window is so freaking tiny. And the worst part about it too is as you add text, no scroll bar pops up. There's no scroll bar. You have to just like select the text and like move back and forth or use the arrow keys. It's the absolute worst. Absolute worst. They did fix it mostly in RPG Maker MZ. So MZ, I say they fixed it mostly because it's really not that great. But if we come in here and we pull this up, so in MZ, it is slightly better, slightly, again, very slightly. So in here, in the script window, it is a larger window. It's like if we go back and forth, you can see. So this is the script window in RPG Maker MV. This is a script window in RPG Maker MZ. So slightly larger, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm very glad they did that. But as you type more text, guess what? Oh, there's a scroll bar at the bottom, and you can actually scroll along and you can look at your text. I don't know why. I don't know why they had such oversight on that. I do not get it. It's like, make the window bigger, add a scroll bar. That's all that I need. I would be so much happier if they did. Oh well. Oh well. I still use it. I still use it. Should I keep using it? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe. But yeah. Anyway, so there's my gripes with RPG Maker. Yikes, doing game dev on hard mode. I mean, yeah. Kind of is. For better or worse. I don't know. There's kind of a part of me that's like, I see this as being easier than using other engines, but it's just because I don't really know other engines. And so I'm sure that if I knew other engines, this kind of thing, I'd probably be like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. But it's still fun. I still enjoy it. Wrote a pathfinding plugin for a friend of mine, and it really made things more painful than it needed to be. That sounds about right, honestly. More flexible conditional operations would be nice, yeah. I think 2000 and 2003 allowed you to use a timer as a condition. I think you're right. I think that 2000 and 2003 did allow that. I feel like I'm gonna have to go check now, but I'm just gonna test this really quickly. So, this Tusk Rat should be doing 1 damage per attack. So long as I lose, they should then flip their second card and they should attack twice. So I should go from 25 down to 23. Let's see what happens. Take another hit. We're gonna go to 23. I should go 24, 23. There we go. Cool. So now the monster. Ooh, what? 27, huh? You don't say. Okay, so something is missing. The 81 and 82. Variable 81, monster cards drawn, and monster total card value. Okay, yep. Copy that. Let's come over here, and on number 5, right before it goes in here and breaks the loop, we're just gonna say, oh, that's why. That's fine. That's fine. Not that. Let's just put that right there. That should be okay. All right, cool. Now let's go test that again. Come in here. I'm going to get the Axel's Wheel of Cheese this time. Not that's going to do any difference. I'm not going to do anything damage-wise. Let's just take another hit. Okay, so he should be doing, again, 2 damage. Let's see what happens. I should go from a 21 down to a 19. Go, awesome. And now his damage is okay. Okay, damage is good to go. Cool, awesome. So that is working now. So now with the monsters, when they are going to do damage to you, they are going to be doing damage based on how many cards they've actually drawn. So, more like the player. So if I were to stand on this, go, I get to attack, does all that damage, good times. And of course I got a blackjack, so then I do even more damage. Happy days. But if we come over here with this guy, and if I were to, say, stand, and if he wins, then it hits me twice. He hit me twice? Gotta okay, so I was at a 19, 18, 17, 16. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I probably should have checked my life before moving along and all that fun stuff. Yeah, so I've got a 16, 15, 14. Cool. They're definitely going to be doing a lot more damage now, which is a little terrifying. But I think that's going to be good. I think that's going to be all right. Anyway, but yeah, I do want to see this, though. I'm like, RPG Maker 2000, launch. Here we go. Open up an event. Yeah, so the variable was the exact same as it is now. So X or higher, item, actor, and timer. Yeah, you could base it off of timer. But again, it's kind of ridiculous. Like, here's the thing. I love the fact that RPG Maker is essentially the same as it was way back when, with a ton more added features, right? Like, essentially, if you knew how to use RPG Maker 2000, you could jump into RPG Maker XP, or MV, or MZ, or VX Ace, like, basically any version of RPG Maker, you could jump back in, and you wouldn't have to relearn the entire engine. Like, you would have a general understanding of what was going on. I mean, like, obviously, again, some things are laid out slightly differently, but it's like, you come in here to create things, they've organized things, right? You know, they've got the same 3 pages of stuff you can do. Obviously, there's some things that are missing, like, you know, obviously, like in RPG Maker 2000, you couldn't use JavaScript, so you couldn't do, you know, script commands and plugin commands, but, you know, they still had loops and labels and show text over here. Look at that, show text. This one, I guess display text settings, they do have that one broken up because this one is literally just show text, and then in here you have to prematurely say, so preemptively, you have to preemptively say, I want the window to be normal, showing on the bottom, and I want to prevent the window from screening the player, all that fun stuff, right? Allow other events to move. I completely forgot that was a thing. I forgot that was a box you could take in RPG Maker 2000, so you could still have events moving around the map as the player was interacting with other NPCs. Anyway, but now all of that is just in here in the show text. You can like choose the face, the window, the position, all that fun stuff. So you know, they've kind of consolidated some things, changing face sets. So basically, wow. Yeah, so these first two are essentially all consolidated in this one here. Then it's like, the next one is show choices. Look at that, show choices. And then you go input number, next one, input number. And then, you know, obviously you can't select items or show scrolling text in RPG 2000, but then you got game progression. Wait, input number. Yeah, input number. And then you've got, you know, switches, variables. They didn't have self switches, so, you know, there's that. But anyway, all of that to say, I do love how little it has changed to the point where, like, you could pick up basically any of the engines. But I don't understand why they get rid of some things. Like, say, for example, the timer as being a condition. You can't do that anymore. I don't know why. Why? They also had, like, a very simple, just transparent box you could tick here. I don't really have that anymore with this. I mean, you can come in here and do custom, and you can change the opacity, so that's kind of nice, because you can, instead of just being like, oh, default to this one opacity, you can be like, I want a specific one, so that's kind of nice. Still, there's just like so many little things that I'm just like, why would you get rid of that? Why? Anyway, yeah, but I do want to check, though. RPG Maker 2003. If we come in here. Oh, you've got 2 timers now. Fancy.
Just summoned Moonchan.
Hello, it's me, Moonchan. I'm here exploring RPG Maker 2003, everybody. It's a good time. It's a great time over here. There we go. And then, yes, they did actually have this in here. So you could choose to do variable, and you could choose one of the variables, and you could say if it is equal to, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, greater than, less than, or not equal to. Oh, I also love this freaking click and drag to choose a number thing. So nice. Oh, I love that thing so much. Yeah, and here it's just you gotta type in the number. Who wants to type numbers when you can come over here and you can do the little click and drag thing? Woo! So fun. What if I hold down shift? Does that change anything? Nope. Still the same. Anyway, good times. Good times over here in the old RPG Maker. Good times in. Okay. Well, so let's close that. Let's see here. You would excel in Godot if you gave it a chance. I probably should. I'm definitely going to one of these days. On your next project, that wouldn't switch it all over unless you have a lot to do left and it feels it's worth it. Yeah, no. I would, if I were to switch all of this over to Godot, it would probably be about 2 years before I got to the point where I currently am at with this game. Would there be improvements? Probably. But yeah, no, it definitely would go. It would not go well if I were to switch over to Godot with this project. So that will definitely be a next project kind of a thing, is the switch. Still waiting on the Dare to come back so I can make him dev a small game in Excel. That is exactly why I'm keeping it off. LOL, I made a whole database management system in Excel. Was a lot of fun. UI in Godot is wonky, but once you get used to it, it is pretty easy. Yeah, it's, I know that I would have a lot of help if I were to try and pick up Godot and learn it. I know that I have a ton of help. But after this project, that's when I'll do it. That's when I'll do it. Voice changer would go crazy here. It really would. It really would. Hi, hello, everyone. Nick, hello, welcome. Glad to see you here. Hopefully you're having an absolutely fantastic week so far. Yeah, even the eventing in RPG Maker 95 was pretty similar. It just lacked the buttons. True. Yeah, and here's the thing, like RPG Maker 95, I never spent too much time in 95. That was one that I did skip. I never really had the opportunity, but it does look like a lot of fun. I'm in Excel, not Godot, my bad. Oh, gotcha. I gotcha. Chord. All right, we can go check the chord. Got a 2 master streak in Alpha Dots. Ooh, not bad. I wasn't here for a long time, to be honest. I mean, that's true. That's true. You have been away for a long time, and I hope the life's going well for you. I think you were more limited on event pages, though. It's been a long time. Oh, like the amount of event pages you can make? I think so. Yeah. Well, because it's like with this, there's still a limit. Yeah, so you can still only do 20. Dang it, now I feel like I have to know. RPG Maker 2000, how many event pages can you make? Oh my gosh. How many event pages can you make in RPG Maker 2000? 100? I completely forgot. You could make 100 event pages in RPG Maker 2000. RPG Maker MV? Just 20. 20 pages. That's it. No more. No more than that. You're out. You're out of luck. Sorry. Thank you. Come again. But no, with RPG Maker 2000, freaking goat over here, they're like, oh yeah, you need 100 event pages? Go for it. Go for it. Jeez. When did they change that? That's what I want to know. When did they reduce down? I'm assuming RPG Maker 2003 is probably going to be... Okay, they're probably 100 as well. Okay, like, was it VX Ace, maybe? Did they reduce down? Nope. VX Ace, you could still... 50, 60, 70, 80, 90... Okay, 99. You could do 99 pages. So technically, I guess VX Ace was the beginning of the tamping down of the event pages. You could only do 99 in VX Ace. One less page than RPG Maker 2000 and 2003. You know what? We're already in it this deep. We're already in it this deep. Let's see what happens. What's gonna happen here? Any bets? I feel like it's gonna be 100. I feel like it's gonna be 100 event pages you've got. 60, 70, 80, 90, 99! Okay, so XP was the first one. XP was the first one to technically remove one page that you could be able to create. Okay, so they literally went, so 2000, 2003, you could do 100. XP, you could do 99. And I'm assuming it's also VX, if VX Ace is also 99, I'm assuming VX as well. And then in MV, they're like, do you know what? Nobody ever uses 99 event pages, which, to be fair, if I'm being completely honest, I've never used that many event pages in my life, ever. But I have definitely maxed out the 20 in RPG Maker, MV, and MZ. Just saying. I'm just saying. So. Anyway, that was a fun rabbit hole to go down. One of my favorite puzzle games. Alpha Dots. Is that the one where you're like drawing like you're like squaring off, or you're like making connections to all the dots, and then like all the ones that you do, it like gets rid of them from the board? That's the one I'm thinking of. Okay, never mind then. Never mind. Just too early for me to wake up, to be honest. Fair. I want to see you figure out today's puzzle. I would be terrible at it. I'm so bad at puzzle games, especially on Mondays because my school starts at 11. Oof, not good. Are there plugins to increase the limit? So when it comes to actually like the actual engine itself, there's not a whole lot plugins can do. I mean, like, I'm sure that it's possible, but I think you would like to actually change the engine itself. You would probably have to...
says, did you know that plants make oxygen from water, not carbon dioxide?
I actually did not know that. I always assumed it was carbon dioxide. The more you know. The more you know. Yeah, anything to change like the actual engine itself, you would probably have to have someone modify the files, write their own launcher, and then you would launch the program through that launcher, which would then overwrite some of the like core mechanics of it. Yeah, probably not worth it is what I'm, because like I know I've talked about it before of like maybe someone could like somehow change it to where the script box right here, you could actually make it larger and add a scroll bar. But it probably wouldn't be the best thing in the world. So the clue is budget cuts, and the hint is meat. It's 8 letters. Layoffs. L-A-Y-O-U-T. Wait, that's layout. L-A-Y-O-F-F-S. That's 7. Oh, that's all I got. You know what? Says Full Long Icicle. What is it? Also, hashtag giveaway. Yes, we'll definitely have to talk about that. No, I will still rewatch the season 1 of Breaking Bad, see if anything it turns up the most likely place, if it is even true. Yeah, season 1 I feel like is probably gonna be the most. I honestly want to say, if it's the scene I'm thinking about, I want to say it's like episode 2. I'm pretty sure it's after their first batch. I'm like 99% sure, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. No, you're given a clue and a plot to the. Oh, gotcha. I knew that. I see. Carbon dioxide is turned into sugar glucose, if I remember the English name correctly. That sounds about right. So once you hit the limit, you can't add any more events. Well, no. So you can add as many events as you want. It's the event pages. So basically the way that RPG Maker works is, so you got the events on the map, right? So each event is essentially like an NPC, right? And then the event pages are what you can use to change the way that the event works, the way it looks, the way it functions, essentially. So the way you can kind of think about this is branching paths. So you would say, so for page number 1, you could think of it as like being path number 1. This is the default path, right? So say, for example, you know, this event would say, hello, if you talk to them, right? And that's all there is to it. And, or maybe let's say they would say, hello, there's a snake over there, be careful. And they warn you there's a snake over there, right? And then let's say, for example, you go and you kill the snake. Snake is gone. You don't want this event to continue saying, hello, there's a snake over there, be careful. So there's a couple ways you could handle this. So one of the ways you could do is you could set up a conditional branch where you'd essentially say, if the switch, we'll just say, snake dead is on, which basically then what you would do is over with the snake event, what you would say is once you've fought and killed the snake, turn on the switch, snake dead. Then you could just say, hey, if the switch snake dead is off, and then create a conditional branch. Then you could say, you know, take this text and put it up here. So if the snake dead is off, which means the snake is still alive, they would say, hello, there's a snake over there, be careful. And then as soon as the snake is dead, you could then have them say, hello, thank you for killing that snake. And there you go. And they would be very grateful. And that is what, so it would then skip over this because the switch snake dead is no longer off, it is now on. So it will now no longer do this, it will then do this else branch here. That's one way you could do that. Or if instead, if you wanted to either keep this page clean or you've got a whole bunch of stuff on this page already, what you could do is we'll just copy and paste that event page. Over here on page 2, you would then say condition is if the switch snake dead is on, then you would do this. So then essentially on this first page, you would just have this where it'd say, hello, there's a snake over there, be careful. But then as soon as the switch snake dead is turned on, it would then switch over to this page automatically. So if you were to leave the map and come back,
so you don't have to use event pages. It just makes things easier.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't necessarily have to. But yeah, it's one, a great way to keep things a little bit more organized. And then 2, it's essentially, it's basically a conditional branch. But it's a page branch. So yeah, and like if you wanted to, if you don't have a ton of stuff going on the event page, I would say conditional branches are a totally fine way to go. Like no worries at all there. But in general, I would probably say, especially the way. So here's the way that I've always done it when I'm doing like an actual big RPG, right? So the way that I have always done this, so this is just like a personal thing. Maybe it works better for other people, other ways. Basically, the way that I have always done it is conditional branches on events are the small things in a story. So say, for example, killing a monster, talking to another NPC, or talking to this NPC specifically. So if you're like, you know, if you were to say, hey, the first time you talk to this person, they say, hello, there's a snake over there, be careful. Then what you could say is, turn on self switch A. And then we could say we're gonna have to branch where if self switch A is on, then we're gonna set up, or I guess we could say if it's off, we'll set up a conditional branch, or you could just not even set up a conditional branch. You could just have if self switch A is off, then everything that's in here will happen if self switch A is off. And then as soon as you turn it on, this will no longer process ever again. So you would say, hello, there's a snake over there, be careful. And then we would come in here and we would say, if self switch B is off, then you would say, hello, I already warned you about the snake. And then it could say, turn on self switch B. And then if you talk to them again, and if you say if self switch C is off, then you could say, hello, are you deaf? I warned you. And then maybe this person turns into a snake and bites you, or something crazy like that. Now keep in mind, I think if you were to run this exactly how it is, it would say one message after another after another. It would say, hello, there's a snake over there, be careful. And then because self-switch B is also off, it would then come in here and say, I already warned you. So this would be just you talking to the person once. So what you could do is you could say, turn on self-switch A, and you come in here and say, exit event processing. Because it would then, it would skip everything beyond that point. You would basically just want to come in there, say that here, here, and here. That way, if you talk to this person, they would say the one message and then stop. You would talk to them again, they'd say this message, they would stop. So it's essentially like that. That's basically how it is. It's just everything would be on one page versus if you were to then map it out onto 2 different pages or 3 different pages, you'd have something like that. And then if self-switch A is on, then it would do this thing. And if self-switch B is on, then it would do this thing. Yeah. Anyway, there's a very random, not super helpful thing. Maybe it was helpful. I don't know. Maybe. The answer is in the Discord. All right, I will go take a look. When I go take a look at the thing that Loki posted, I recommend watching Devil May Cry. I probably should watch that. You can't be older than me. I don't even know if I am. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. I'm in my mid-30s, so maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. But even though, regardless of my age, I have a terrible memory, an absolutely horrible memory. Like a weekend ago, they released second season. Oh, really? There's so many shows I need to catch up on. That still seems kind of limiting. A little bit. Yeah. So again, like with the event pages, it is what it is there with the event pages. But with the events, you could have as many events as you want. You could fill every single one of these squares with an event. Your game is gonna run like crap, but you could have as many events as you want on. Actually, there probably is a limit. I don't know what it is. But if you were to create the largest map possible, which I believe is 256 by 256, and I am horrible at math, so that would be 65,536 events. So if you were to create the largest map possible and you filled every single tile with an event, that would be 65,536 events. That might hit the limit. But I don't know. I don't want to say one way or the other, but I may be lying to you and I don't want to lie to you. So, yeah. Okay, are any of these ones I have to delete? Yes, that one I can delete. I don't need that one. That was just examples. By the way, what happened with the game in the corner? Nick, have you actually been gone that long? There's no way you've been gone that long. Has it actually been that long? So that game in the corner, yeah, that's been gone since like November? December? I don't think I've had it at all this year. Pretty sure it's been gone this entire year. It was running into some issues and I wanted to redo it, and then I ended up just taking it down when I redid my stream setup. One day I'm gonna add it back though. I'm gonna add it back. It was too much work for him. Lazy streamer is lazy. I mean, you're not wrong, Loki. You're not wrong. So you don't have to use event pages. It just makes things easier. True. Okay, good to know. By the way, I decided to take your advice about making a smaller game in RPG Maker before doing the dinosaur game. I already have an idea for it. Very nice. Yeah, honestly, and again, anything that I say, full disclosure, do not take anything I say as gospel, as doctrine, as something that you have to do. These are just things that I have learned from over the many, many, many years that I've been using RPG Maker. Because again, I've been using RPG Maker for over 25 years. And so, and I've made a lot of projects, hundreds actually. I have not finished hundreds of projects, but I've started hundreds of projects. And more often than not, I start and I never finish a project because I had some grand ambition. I was like, I'm going to make this crazy, huge, multi-dozen hour story-centric RPG with dozens of playable characters and backstories and this crazy geopolitical commentary that the player's going to have to unravel over the course of, again, hundreds of hours of gameplay. And then I get about a week or two into it and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely freaking ridiculous. I'm moving on to the next project that I want to make. And so yeah, so just saying, anytime I say anything, it is just like my own suggestion. Things are going to be different for everybody else. But for me, I would say if you are starting game dev, if you are getting into it, start with at least one smaller project, kind of get your feet wet, kind of figure out how it works, how you want things to go forward. And there's going to be things you learn. Whether you are making just some crazy outlandish little mini project that you're like, oh, this is going to be just absolutely ridiculous. There will be things that you learn in that project that you will then be able to apply to your next project. So don't think that it's time wasted, that it's time better well spent if you're working on the main project. Because if that's all you do and you're like, I'm just going to jump into the big main project and you're going to spend a long time working on this project, it's going to be a big thing. Don't have the mentality that it's wasted time. Because even if it's something that you're never going to release, you're never going to share with anybody else, nobody else is going to see it, it is still something you're going to be able to use to learn, to grow, to develop your skills, and to know how you want to approach projects in the future. So, yeah, that's what I got for you. Lies! I'm not lying. I'm not lying. Yes, I'm complaining about RPG Maker being limiting. I mean, there's nothing wrong with complaining about it. I complain about it all the time. But you also have to remember, sometimes the limitation breeds creativity. So sometimes limitations are a good thing. Nothing anyone says is truly gospel. True, Ink. I thought you were only 25. Oh, to be young again. To be young and 25. Anyway, yeah, no, definitely not 25. I wish. I am almost exactly 10 years older than that. And yet he can't make a pop-up book game because it's too hard. You know what, Loki? You're out of line. But you're right. It is kind of hard. Okay. Loki, you make me want to do it so bad. And then I know that as soon as I open up the project to go do it, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Why am I going to try this? And I'm going to close it. And then you're going to mock me even more. That's going to be terrible. And how is there the 25 Maker... Wait. And how is there the 25 RPG Maker years of experience? Oh wait, how do I have 25 years of RPG Maker experience? Because I first got RPG Maker 2000 when I was about 10 years old. That was 25 years ago. Shots fired. It's true. Shots were definitely fired. They were definitely fired. Okay. All right. Come over here. Let's take a look at Discord if I can freaking find this thing. There we go. Okay. So I still have that open. I can close these. Was there something that I saw in here that I was like, ooh, I wanna keep that? Don't think so. Although I will say, I really like the monster designs in this game. I'm gonna keep that tab open over here. And then I'm gonna jump over and we're gonna look at Discord. I'm reporting the Moon Man to the RPG Maker authorities for the underage consumption. Sorry, no, please. Wait. RPG Maker 2000 ESRB rating. RPG Maker 2000 itself does not have an official ESRB. Ha! You can't get me on that. Unless that's not what you're meaning. The underage consumption. Oh. Can't get me on that. There is no ESRB rate. Wait. Hold up. Okay, yeah, never mind. I thought I'd check one more place. Can you make randomly generated objects in RPG Maker? I may need a little bit more explanation on what you mean by that. Because you can definitely do randomly generated objects to a certain extent. But I may need a little bit more clarification on that one before I can say definitively yes or no. TF is this post. A world where snake was as commonly served as fish. And I don't know. Not quite sure. Today's alpha dots 110 with 4 plots. Oh my god. Yeah, these kinds of games, not good. Union organizer? Wedding planner. Don't spoil until you figure out or give up on the answer. I gave up. I gave up on the answer. Apparently, I gave up on the answer. That's my bad. Create a corner. Wait, was it create a corner? Okay, so this is what Loki posted. Create a corner. I feel like we're gonna have to full screen this so we can see what's going on here. Let's turn on a full screen monitor up here. Here we go. Okay. What's going on here? Drip, drip, and sip. Customers ordered a Americano hot chocolate cold brew. Wait a minute! Is this like an actual like drink serving game in Excel? Customer serve, date and time, right? Oh my god. That is impressive. That is impressive. Dang it. Is there anything you can't make in Excel? I tell you. Over, under. Have you shared this one before? I feel like you've shared this one before. Still very cool. I love it. We got this one. Oh, is this the map generation one? Yes, the map generator. Oh my god. Get to move around. Oh, it's so cool. Loki. This is talent. This is talent right here. I like it. It's just insane. It's insane that you can do this. Like, absolutely crazy and wild. You get, like, the whole map transfers and everything. What? Games made in Excel. Wrestling management sim. Ooh. Wait. Have I seen this one before? That's the real question. That would start. Okay, so I have seen this one. I was like, I'm pretty sure we have looked at this one before. I haven't commented though. I should probably comment. I should definitely comment. I gave it a like though. Got a thumbs up from me. Because it is very, very much so a likable thing. Yeah. Like that. I like it. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And see, I looked at it and it wasn't 20 years later. I got there. Ah, good time. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Let's see here. Over on YouTube. Okay, let's see. Where did I drop off? So everything was in long text. Okay, yeah, so I think 2003 allowed you to use a timer as a conditional. Yeah, even the eventing in RPG Maker 95 is pretty similar. It lacked the buttons. So everything was in a long text list on a solid white background, which made things a bit hard on the eyes. I could see that. I could see that. I think you were more limited on event pages, though. It's been a long time. Oof, 20 pages would have been rough in the early 2000s, back when the name entry screen didn't even work. True. A lot of people made custom menus in the name entry to work around it. I remember those days. Event pages are also nice when you want NPCs to move around. True. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, changing their movement patterns and things like that. That is something you cannot do with... That is actually... Okay, that is a great point. That is a very fantastic point. Thank you so much for pointing that out. So, there are some things that if you just use conditional branches, you're not able to adjust. Things like the autonomous movement, which I guess would probably be called something else in different engines. But, do you know what's actually funny? I never knew that this was actually called autonomous movement. I have never read that text. I've seen that text. I've never sat and read that text. Huh. Anyway, yeah, so changing the actual autonomous movement of the events, you cannot do that with the conditional branch. I mean, you could technically override it, kind of, by doing, like, move routes, and you could just say, like, oh, this event, we're gonna say, move at random, and then if you're in, like, a different conditional branch, then do another thing, and it would, like, kind of override it. But it'd be a little bit weird if you were to do that. German RPG maker farming game from 2008 made a day-night cycle, and the NPCs would go about their day hour by hour. I have always wanted to make something like that. It's just it's so much fun. Like, you think about it and you're like, yeah, that wouldn't be too bad. Like, I could do that. Then you start working on it, you're like, oh. And you get through one NPC and you're like, whew, that was a lot of work. And then you realize, okay, I need to do that like 5 dozen more times to make this thing interesting. It was all evented, which was insane. Yeah, that is absolutely wild to completely event something like that. Cool. If I don't find some hotline attended by Karen, I will end up snitching to your wife. No, please, no. You'll have to forgive me for that. I'll forgive you. I'll forgive you. Let's see. Okay, so like, say you have to dig up items, and the items you get are randomly generated from a list of possible choices. Okay, gotcha. Yes. First thing that comes to mind, this would be like yeah, this is like the first thing that comes to mind, the way to do it. There's going to be plenty of different ways you could do this, but first thing that comes to mind for me, let's say, for example, you know, if you were to say something like show choices, dig or nothing. Say, for example, if you were to dig, it's like, you know, diggy hole. Then at the end of that, basically what you would want to say is you would say control variables. And let's just say we just want to set a random variable to, say, be equal to a random number between 1 and 10, or so however many items you're going to want this to be. So set it to a random number between 1 and 10. And then you would just say conditional branch variable. This variable is equal to 1. Then you would say control items, and we would say just increase small potions by 1. And then you could say show text, you found a small potion. And you would essentially just repeat that and say, like, all right, well, if it's number 2, then you would say increase slime jelly by 1. And you would say, you found a slime jelly. And you would do that, essentially. Now, something you could do as well, so if you wanted it to be something along the lines of, you find an item, but you can only find that one item. You want the player to only find one of each item. What you could do is you can come in here and you could create a loop, and you just want to take all of this stuff and put it inside the loop. So that is going to continuously loop until eventually you come in here and you say break loop. That will then just get rid of it. But until then, as soon as it hits this repeat above, it goes back up to the loop and it starts again. So essentially what you can do is you can say, hey, set a random number between 1 and 10. And then what you can then say is, if you are equal to 1, which is a small potion, and then you can say conditional branch, if the item, small potion, this is where it's really frustrating there's not more options, because this is essentially going to say if you have a small potion. Really, really annoying. I wish you could say, you can with JavaScript, but if you're just going to be eventing this, essentially what you'd have to say is you'd have to say create a conditional, or create an else branch, and then you would put this stuff into the else branch. So if you have a small potion, do nothing. If you don't have a small potion, add the small potion. That way, if the player ever so if you dig and you find a small potion, it will add it once, and then as soon as you have, if the party has small potion, then don't do anything. And then essentially what it would do is it would then skip past everything else. It would hit the repeat above, it would go up to repeat, and then it would go again. Oh, something else you'll want to keep in mind as well. Once it adds the item, you would then want to come in here and just say break loop. That way it gets out of this whole loop, and then you're good to go. So yeah, so then basically you would just set this up to be across all of the conditions. You'd come down here, say the same thing, but you just say if the player has a small slime jelly, then you would say the same thing. So add a slime jelly. You found a slime jelly. And then you would essentially create that again and again and again. That way, if you have already found it, it won't add another one. But if you don't care about that, then you don't have to worry about that, and you'd be good to go. You could not have to worry about the loop with the other conditions or anything. So that's probably gonna be like the fastest and easiest way to be able to do like a like randomly generated list of items. Unfortunately, you will have to have the database of items. Like it can't just like generate items for you. Yeah, so they have to be in the database. You would have to come in here and you would have to say items, create the items, however many it is going to be. So you would have to come in here, you would have to create the items, then you just go in there and choose which ones exactly it is actually adding. But yeah, that's probably going to be the best and easiest way to create something like that, where it's like, as you are getting, like if you were digging a hole, finding items, or opening a chest, like if you were to say to open a chest and it opens a chest, you could say, hey, I want this to contain one of 3 items, like potential items to collect. So 1 could be a potion, 2 could be some piece of armor, or 3 could be gold of some kind, right? And then you could even take it deeper than that. So you could say, hey, set this to be a random number between 1 and 3, right? And then basically what you would do is you would say, all right, well, if you're equal to 1, you could say, this is going to be comment, adding an item. You could say if you're equal to 2, this is going to be adding an armor. And then 3, this would be adding gold. So it would choose one of those 3. And then say, for example, if it landed on 3. What you could then do is you could say, come in here, you could use this same variable and say, all right, cool, set this to be a random number between 50 and 100. And then at that point, you could then come in here and say, show text, you found variable, whatever it was, like 1200 or whatever, you found X gold. It's 1303. You could say 1303. This is also a very nice code to use if you have not looked into these codes for showing text. Very useful stuff. If you just hover the mouse over the text window, it'll actually give you all of these different text things you can use, like add weights, showing the gold window, replacing things with like character names, variables, and all that fun stuff. So you'd say, yeah, you found X amount of gold. And then you would then say, come in here, change gold, increase it based on the variable, this variable right here. There you go. That would add that much gold to your party's gold. Yeah. Anyway, hopefully that's helpful. I apologize for going on such a long tangent. I just, honestly, like, there's kind of a part of me that I'm like, I would not mind setting up some kind of just like Discord call where I jump on and I just like answer people's questions about RPG Maker. I think it'd be kind of fun. Anyway. Let's see here. Jens' coffee shop manager. That is really cool. I like that. I love Excel too. I think I've shared all of them. I think so. I think so too. And yet, they're still so cool. And yet you can't make a pop-up. I feel like you're baiting me. And I feel like I'm going to have to now. I will Visual Basic you out of your Visual Basic basics. Promise? That sounds like a promise, not a threat. We need an Excel trauma hotline. I'm thinking it might slap these days. I think it might. See, Halifax says, I think they mean a grammar like item, modifier, blessing, or something like Diablo/WoW loot drops, but I might be wrong. Interesting. Or you mean choices like one master list that makes sense given the system limitation. Very informative. Hey, that's okay. So in terms of doing something like a Diablo kind of thing where it's like item, modifier, blessing. Not natively. There might be a plugin for it. The problem is that the way that the databases in RPG Maker works is if we come over here, we've got the data. Let's say, for example, we come in here to items. So it runs off of JSON file. So this would be the items JSON file. So this is everything about the items themselves. So say, for example, with this very first one. So you've got all the stuff, obviously the IDs, the types, all that fun stuff. Then you get over here and you've got, the name is all potion. If there's a note, the price, if it repeats, the scope, the speed, all of that stuff, it is all in here in the JSON file. And you can come in here, like you could literally, if I wanted to, here's what I could do. You want to know what I could do? Kind of fun. If I come in here, if I hit save, and then if I come back over here to the JSON file, look at that. I now have those 7 extra lines of code that I changed or that I added. So I can come in here and I could actually edit the names of these things and I could make them whatever I want. I could do whatever I wanted with them. I could change the JSON files. I could manage the data out of this file strictly, right? Which is cool, which is fun. Great. The problem is that as soon as you load the game, it is loading into memory those JSON files. It is extracting the data, it is pumping it into the engine, and it's there. It is not going to be live reading these JSON files going forward. And so you can't really have it generate new items based on random variables and have it save it to the database. There are ways around it, but again, like as soon as you start getting into weird stuff, you'll start getting into Tomb of Vercilias kind of stuff where you're like rebuilding basically the entire engine from the ground up to work with your own systems. Not exactly what I would recommend. So if you are creating an actual RPG in RPG Maker and you want to be able to do something like that, again, there might be a plugin out there. I don't know for certain, but probably what you're going to have to do is you will have to come in here and you're going to have to say rusty dagger, small rusty dagger, cracked small dagger, and you'll basically just have to do that. So you'd basically have to like create, I don't know, 20 or so variations of dagger with, you know, and what you could do is you could also have, you essentially just have to have like your own list. So you'd be like, okay, well, you know, I would say things are rusty, small, cracked, fine, sturdy, rugged, like whatever you want to use, and then dagger. But then you would also have to double that because you would say like rusty dagger of fire, or rusty dagger of, I don't know, malice. So you would have to kind of like go a little bit crazy with it, because then you would also have to then create other variants of small rusty dagger of malice. And yeah, so it does get a little bit crazy, out of control. Yeah, so I might recommend, if you're going to want to do something like that, probably look for a plugin. I don't know if one exists. It might. But again, it would probably have to adjust things so much. I don't know how it would do it. It would probably have to create its own database that it could save, store, and load from on the fly. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. Let's see here. Hey, that's okay. This is what I was looking for. The person who made a first-person puzzle game in Excel. What do we got here? Get out of here, you freaking ads. Freaking bad time travel. I hate that ad so. What the?
Welcome yo_it's_LJ and your 9 amazing audience members.
Yo, LJ, thank you so much for that raid. I appreciate that. We are looking here at a what was it to say? A first-person puzzle game made in Excel. I think we've looked at this before. But it's super cool. It is very cool. See, I need to make something like this. This would be cool. Yeah, we've definitely taken a look at this before, and it's just wild to me. It's insane. It's insane that you've made that like this is made in Excel. Absolute crazy stuff. Absolute wild crazy stuff. See, I can make that. Not in Excel, but I can make that in RPG Maker. As soon as you get stuff like this, I'm just like, oh my god. Crazy stuff. Absolutely wild. Makes me wish I could make something like that in RPG Maker. Let's see. Bro, I love your tangents. I meant Masterless, by the way. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. So it is possible. Just kind of weird. Let's see. We got a yo from Yo, it's LJ. And Mesley. Thank you so much for those dancing emotes. This was made in Excel. You know, right? Freaking crazy. You can make that after the pop-up book. Okay, there we go. Yeah, after the pop-up book made in RPG Maker, I am also going to make something like that in RPG Maker. Gonna be great. The games would have... Wait. Let's see. Jakey Custom. It was all invented. The Jakey Custom name entry I mentioned before was done using those text codes. The games would have 6 to 8 dummy party members whose names would be set. Then you select a letter. So the name would be printed something like N20, N21, N22, etc. Freaking wild stuff. Like the amount of loopholes that people had to jump through back in the day. Bonkers. But I mean, hey, it worked. Melzy. Oh, it's Melzy. Well, welcome, Melzy. Welcome, Melzy. Ben, I'm sorry. Please don't spray me. Actually, that feels kind of nice. Please keep spraying me. Spray bottle. Anyway, holy smokes. I am so sorry, everybody. We are now 2.5 hours into the stream. My brain is feeling fried. And what have we done? Here's what we have done. We've chatted, we've hung out, we've had a good time going back and forth. It's been an absolute blast. In terms of development, though, we have made it so when you're in combat, and if the player hand busts, oh my god. If the player hand busts, thank you, then the monster will attack with both of the cards. So there's that. There is that. That's what we've got working so far. That is literally what we have working so far. Oh my gosh. Hold the phone. You know, I just realized if I make this hand bust, so as you can see here, we've got a perk card here, which is a spike pauldron, which adds a 2% spike damage to myself. But if I take a hit and the hand busts, look at his health. Nothing. Please tell me I backed that up. Please tell me. Okay, where's the monster's HP? Which variable is that? Monster HP is 67, which is right here. Okay. I think that's what we need. I think we just copy that. Did you ever go to hashtag giveaway? I have not. Actually, that is a great point. Thank you so much for reminding me, Loki. We're going to go mention the hashtag giveaway. So if you are part of the Discord server, make sure if you have not yet to come over here and react to this post in the game key giveaways, because we'll be giving away a Steam key on the next stream on Sunday. So yeah, so react to this post for a chance to win a Steam key this Sunday, the 24th. React with what you think my favorite animal is. Winners will get a key, 1 reaction per person. We've got moose. Or that's a wolf. Wait. It is moose. That is a moose. There are 2, just a heads up. Okay, yes. So there we go. So if you are part of the Discord server, make sure to head over there to the game key giveaways. Make sure that you come in here and add a reaction to this post. This post right here. I know my hand's getting cut off, but you get the picture. Make sure to add a reaction to this post. And maybe add a reaction to Loki's favorite animal over here on this post as well for a chance to win another key. Who knows? You could win 2 keys on the Sunday stream. So yeah, so make sure to get in there. And if you are not, you can come over here and join the Discord server. And it's an absolute blast of a time. We have fun. We have fun hanging out. So highly recommend. Highly recommend. Well, this looks super cool. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, Mousy. I do appreciate that. Do we have fun? I mean, I have fun. When I'm there, I have a lot of fun. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Ooh. Monster cards drawn. If double down H1 is on. So did I get rid of some of that then? I mean, you aren't the one being ignored? Exactly. I'm the one doing the ignoring. Which is 10 times better. 10 times better. Oh, I knew I should have backed this up so that I knew exactly what I was doing here. Okay. So when the monster comes to do damage here, monster attack. We got Serpentine. Then we got it flashing here and then doing damage. So then doing elemental damage. So this is going to be the next thing we have to worry about. But I need to get that working again. I need to get the Spike Pauldron working again. Right here is where we actually want to do damage to the monster if Spike Pauldron is on. So game variables dot set value. So set 67 to equal 67 minus 68. Okay, so 67. Monster HP. Oh, okay, so I think it's just this. So yeah, so it's reduce the monster's HP by the monster's HP minus max HP times variable 674, which 674, I believe, should be spike damage. 674, perk Thorns damage percentage divided by 100. There we go. Okay, all right. So I should be able to copy that, come over here, and on page 5, just add that back right there. And we're gonna do this just to make it easier. Doing Thorns damage to monster. There we go. That will help me remember that that is actually what that thing is doing. Yeah, here we go. I'm showing off some things I made in Excel and then the video of someone who make a first-person maze game. Wait. Oh, you're responding to another message. This was made in Excel? What? Oh, that's right, that's right. The lack of variable names seems insane to me. It's true. Yeah. It is kind of bonkers if you think about it. The fact you have to, if you want to reference a variable with JavaScript in RPG Maker, you have to do game variables.value, and then you have to remember the ID of the variables. You have to be like, okay, I think that was variable 650. Yeah, it's crazy. You want to do like an if statement in here? You got to be like, if this variable is, wait, yeah, equal to, I don't know, 5, and then you would do the normal stuff, you know. But it's like, yeah, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. But that's how it is. That's how it is in RPG Maker. Such an easy, it's so easy to implement feature to. Yeah, I don't know why they haven't. I don't know why they haven't. To be fair though, there is an absolutely fantastic plugin. This is I'm gonna do a little bit of a shill here. We're gonna say JavaScript plugins. Let's see, it would be, so let's got the SRD audio fader, IAF pictures, Absurd Magic. Was this the one? No, that's just adjusting the max pictures you can show in RPG Maker. Okay, so I don't think that some randev made it for RPG Maker MV. But there's an absolutely fantastic plugin for RPG Maker MZ. If we come over here to Unboxed, and then we pull this up, there's a plugin right... Word stack? Magic Variable Util. There we go. Adds a JavaScript utility object that makes working with variables and switches in code much easier and readable. So instead, with this plugin, so you can actually, if you would like, for anyone who would like it, if you're using RPG Maker MZ, I'm going to click on this really quickly, and we're going to copy that, close that. We're going to come over here. There we go. All right, here we go. Let's see, videos, text posts, give me monies. What is this, some random? Anyway, wait, do you not link to your plugins via your plugin? I'm gonna guess that is just your links. We're gonna go to someran.dev. This website isn't ready, come back later. Someran.dev, okay, there we go. MZ, and then I think we should be able to search for, what was it again? The Magic Variable Util. Magic Variable Util, it's right there. So if you would like to, there is, hey, does anybody recognize that guy? Anybody recognize that guy? That was back in my younger years of like a few months ago, back when my hair was slightly shorter than what it is now. Anyway. Yeah. So some randev has made an absolutely fantastic plugin. I guess I should actually talk about the plugin. Yeah, so basically all you have to do, so long as you have that plugin installed in your RPG Maker MZ project, just come over here to script, and instead of typing out game variables.value, we're gonna do like a little bit of a, oh my gosh, there we go, a little bit of a 5, yeah, 5, yeah. So instead of doing that, you can say just v dot. And let's say, for example, if variable 5, let's go over here, let's just check and see. Variable 5 is box proportions. If you then instead come over here and just say b.box proportions, it's the exact same thing. And you can actually use the variable name instead of the variable ID. So much easier once you get used to it. The problem for me is that I've been using RPG Maker for so long, I have a hard time switching back over to doing this, even though I have the plugin for it. But anyway, yeah, so there's that. I will share that in the chat if anybody is interested in either this plugin or any of the other Sumran Dev plugins, because let me tell you, there are some crazy Sumran Dev plugins. Like if you want to see crazy plugins, Sumran Dev's got you covered. What do we got here? Stretch event triggers. Useful for making an event that takes up multiple times, but only need to use it in one spot. There you go. You can stretch your events with this one. Map mixer. Oh, map mixer. With X being the ID of the map, this will mix with. Yes. So map mixer is actually super cool. So map mixer, funny enough, was a plugin. I'm pretty sure, like 99% sure that this is the plugin. Are there screenshots? There are no screenshots. Okay, I'm like 99% sure this is actually a plugin that Sumran Dev wrote for a game collab, or I guess a game collab that a whole bunch of us were a part of. So if I come over here and I go to YouTube, you know what? I've just kind of like resigned. Tonight is just going to be not very productive. But if we go to Toasty Time, we come over here to videos. Yeah, so Toasty Time. Let's scroll down just a little bit. Where is it? There we go. This one right here. This one right here. So this was a collab that Sumran Dev, Toasty, myself. Who all else? Briggy. Yeah, so many absolutely fantastic. We were. I'm gonna say fantastic about everybody else. I'm not including that fantastic list. Anyway, yeah, so we all did this collab together, and we made a game together. And Sumran Dev was the person who started, and essentially it was super cool. So essentially, this is the way that the plugin worked. Let's see if we got a good example of what's going on here. Hold up, hold please. Yeah, so basically this plugin, essentially what it does is you can have two maps overlap with each other. And so you could pull in parts of one map into another and they would just show. So if we actually, this is gonna be way easier. I think we do actual gameplay. Reactions, there we go. Let's go to the reactions. All right, so we gotta move along. Ooh, here we go. So you can kind of see it working as of right here. Wait for it. Yeah, so as you can see, like these little spots here, these are actually being taken from another map. So essentially what you can do is you can make two maps that like you could have like the same shape. They don't have to be the same shape. You can create two maps of like the same shape, but you can have the maps be slightly different. And then with this plugin, you can say, hey, I want to take from XY to XY, and I want to take that and put it into this other map. And so it would show tiles or events or things like that from that one map, and then it would show it into this other map. So you can do crazy puzzle things where it's like this one, for example, where you flip this switch, it then brings in this other map that has a chest, and you gotta go over there and open the chest really quickly before the map disappears. I know that technically you could do something like that with a bunch of eventing, crazy stuff going on, but crazy cool stuff like that. Anyway, that is what this plugin is here for. So map mixer. Yes, so if you ever want to do something cool like that, you could use map mixer. Great stuff. Anyway, there's that. And there's also just tons more for RPG Maker MV. Because this was Sumran Dev's heyday back in the day with RPG Maker MV. Look at how many more freaking plugins there are for RPG Maker MV. So many. Look at this, little Windows layers. The plugin causes all the windows in your game to be drawn on different layers, stopping them from overdrawing each other and creating an overlapping effect. That's kind of cool. I don't know if you would need it. Kind of cool. Custom colors, instead of having the window.png file have control of your colors, this plugin allows you to customize all the available colors in your game using parameters. Pretty cool stuff. Shaking text, allow you to add shaking text to your look at that, friggin', you can have shaking text. It all is a shaky. Yeah. Anywho, we're gonna move on now. But really cool stuff. So if you're using RPG Maker MV or MZ, highly recommend getting some RandDev plugins. Really great stuff, really fun stuff. And I know that I literally just went on a whole tangent because of a plugin from some RandDev about variables, but here we are. That's how life is. Yeah. Anyway, what? Bookmarking that for later. Yeah, it's good stuff. It is good stuff. Now, obviously, if you are just barely starting out with RPG Maker, you might want to avoid trying to implement plugins until later. Because here's the thing with plugins. They're really cool. You can do some absolutely fantastic stuff with them. You can also very quickly get out of control with your plugins, and it just gets, again, crazy out of control real fast. RandDev is the real MVP. It's true. It's true. They really are. They really very much so are. Anyway, okay, back to it. So let's test this here. So I have this guy right here, which is the Spiked Pauldron, which should allow me to be able to damage the monster if they attack me. Is it actually going to work? I don't know. We'll find out. Let's, this is gonna pain. No, I want to split. I love the splits. And I want to. Okay, there we go. So we got a 26 and a 20. Let's stand on the 26 and a 20. There we go. We win. We get to do damage. Cool. And then, of course, I got a Blackjack. Awesome. Now, let's, on this last HP, let's see if this can actually take the monster out. So, with this Spiked Pauldron, it should do damage to this monster because I have Thorns damage now. So, if I purposefully have my hand bust, it should damage him when he damages me. There we go. Happy day. Happy day. It is restored. We are good to go. Another 10-10 split. Not bad. Let's take a hit, though, because I just want to, again, test it one more time. I don't know. I'm weird. I like testing to make sure things work multiple times. Let's see. Quentin over on YouTube says, this kind of plugin is why I stopped using RPG Maker. A trivial and basic feature relegated to a possibly paywalled plugin. I mean, that's a great point. That is a really great point. That kind of stuff should just be in the program. Like, it really shouldn't require a plugin. But I can tell you this: not paywalled. So that is one thing that I do very much so appreciate about some RandDev. There are some paid plugins. I'm not gonna lie to you. There are some paid ones, but I don't know of any that are actually entirely locked behind a paywall, like to where they would not be accessible at all. Because there is. So if we come over here to, let's go RPG Maker. And if we go to the RPG Maker MZ, so we have HUD Maker Ultra. So HUD Maker Ultra is a crazy plugin, because here's the thing. HUD Maker Ultra is not just a plugin, it is a whole program that you can go in here and you can create entire HUDs for your game. I actually use HUD Maker Ultra in, let me get this pulled up again, in my idle clicker game Unboxed. So I am using HUD Maker Ultra to be able to do things like this. Oh yeah, I forgot. You can't run 2 test plays at once. And these glorious little chickens down here, these are all running in RPG Maker. I'm gonna close the chickens for a second. Anyway, so yeah, so HUD Maker Ultra, I can actually, with HUD Maker Ultra, I am able to do things like having scrolling menus. And so like say, for example, if I get a whole bunch of chickens here, I can have these menus scroll, and it's still showing the HUD elements on the screen, but I can scroll and have it all. It's wild stuff that you can do. Absolutely wild stuff you can do with. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so this one. So HUD Maker Ultra. There is HUD Maker Ultra, but then there's HUD Maker Ultra Pro. So HUD Maker Ultra Pro is the paid version. But as far as I know, and I could be wrong in this, as far as I know, the only thing that is locked behind any kind of paywall is a whole bunch of absolutely crazy pro tools, right? So everything that you see here is all a part of HUD Maker Ultra. You can do things, you can show text, show names, show variables, show, you can write custom code. Like, you can do all of this stuff with the free version of it. So it's not until you get to absolutely wild, crazy stuff that you want to do that it would then be locked behind the paywall. But again, like, you can use it completely until you want to do those crates. So, yeah, I will say some Rendev is absolutely fantastic because they do not charge crazy amounts of money to be able to get some of the best plugins, in my opinion, for RPG Maker. But yeah, there's my there's the rest of my hey, some Rendev is great and awesome. But I will agree with you. It is kind of ridiculous that you're not able to just do that in RPG Maker. They really should. They really should allow that, but oh well. Beggars can't be choosers, and I am definitely a beggar. I am definitely a beggar when it comes to game dev because I am limited to RPG Maker because I have not learned other things. I probably should learn other things. Probably should. One of these days. One of these days I will. All right. Well. Some Renev's a real MVP. Godot is free and open source. True. I should probably learn Godot if I'm being completely honest. I remember a lot of old games using events for bridges that could walk over/under. It caused a lot of lag. You know what's funny? I actually have a short on my YouTube channel about how to create a bridge. And I've had a lot of people be like, this is ridiculous. Why would you have to do this? And it's like, well, I'm sorry. That's what you got to do sometimes. Let's see, where is it? There we go. Bridges in RPG Maker. Yeah. I literally made a whole short about it because someone was like, how would you do something like this? And yeah, and you know, I show how to do it so you can walk below and above. Yeah. Look at that. You walk below. I walk you through how to do the whole thing. You walk below and above. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, all of the stuff you got to do to make some of these things work, it is a little ridiculous. But hey, if it works, it works. And more often than not, I would say it works. What? That wouldn't cause lag? Source, I'm the guy that discovered how to do it in RPG Maker 2000. Wait, really? Wait, what? You just have events on stairs that change the tile set between walk over bridge and walk under bridge. Huh. That's an interesting way to do it. When half the map was made out of individual bridge event tiles, it absolutely lagged. The tile set swapping method came later. No, it didn't. That was, and I repeat myself, known in RPG Maker 2000. That is actually, that's kind of wild. I'm not gonna lie. That is actually really wild. Well, I don't know if the method that I came up with is anywhere close to that. Yeah, it's quite literally just a bunch of events. So these are all events. Obviously, the shadow is something that can stay, so that's just a part of the tile set. Yeah, so the bridge itself are just the events, and they get triggered by other events. So I guess if you have like a massive bridge, I could see that being the case. You know, kind of like Dan is saying, is if you've got like some massive bridge, you need to be able to walk below and on top. I could see that causing lag if you've got like hundreds of events that are all a part of this bridge. But something similar like this, where it's like, I'm pretty sure this is literally 3 events. Yeah, you got 1, 2, 3 events. Now you do have trigger points. You do have trigger points periodically throughout. So I've got the events for the bridge, and I just make it so I change the priority to go above the player if you are walking below, and then I have 2 pages, so I have one below and one above, and then essentially I switch back and forth between those switches, and obviously making passages correct. Copy and paste the event pages, the events, have it extend a little bit past, yada yada yada, and then you can't walk under and below it. So yeah, you gotta add some things there, and then you have like the triggering events that essentially, as you're walking up to the bridge, make it so that you can then walk above or below. That's what I did, and it worked out pretty well. I don't know. I don't know, maybe. Here's a bit more compatible and drop in, but it relies on the bridges being in the tile set. It's also a rare point. You can use the directional passability feature. True. Yeah, and here's the thing too, is like if you're wanting to make a wider bridge, so if I'm being completely honest, there's actually a reason why I did specifically a single tile width, 3 tile long bridge, is because I didn't want to have to go over all of the potential issues that you could run into. Because it's like, as soon as you go with a bridge that is either more than 1 tile wide, you like you say, you cannot use the passability anymore, because if you're saying, oh, like you can't move up or down on this, which works great if you're just walking one direction across the bridge, but as soon as you have the opportunity to go left and right on the bridge, or up and down, however you want to look at it, it then kind of destroys that whole thing. So then you have to add a whole new row of events to say, hey, if you're on the bridge, you cannot go here or here. Yeah, it just gets absolutely ridiculous. Mine relies on bridges. Yeah, for that, you would just have an empty tile that is solid, much easier than the later RPG Maker's. So wait. So what do you mean by it relies on bridges? Was there a way to do bridges in like older versions of RPG Maker? Like, was it built directly into the tile set? You got the passability. You've got the passage. It has been so long since I've used RPG Maker 2000. Now I'm like trying to like counter? It's under upper layer. Is it counter? I honestly don't even remember what counter does. It has been so long since I've used RPG. Again, it's been like 25 years. Oh, you mean the bridge is a graphic. Gotcha. Yeah. So there definitely is the bridge here. But I mean, the method could essentially be the same, though, right? You know, because you'd essentially have, like if we were just like roughly recreate what I had. Say, for example, we'll just go there. And then you would get the tile set. Oh wait, this is on world. I was like what's going on here? It's a basic. Let's do exterior. Wait, no, I was on world. Basic, yeah. Keep calling it world. Basic. Found it. I found it. I'm in the bridge graphic. The counter property allows you to speak to an NPC through. That's right. That's what that was. So you could actually talk to them through. Okay, that's right. Because you could make a. It's to make a counter. That would make more sense. Yeah, you want the exterior tile set, or perhaps dungeon. I've not used it much either. Yeah, it's been a very long time. But yeah, it's like, I mean, we're not necessarily going for extreme realism here. So we'll just kind of throw this guy on here really quickly. I'm pretty sure you should be able to use essentially the same, where you would say this shows above, and then we want a new page where if we would then say the player is on bridge. No. So we would say if you're not on the bridge, you show above. If you are, then you show below. Yeah, and then we basically just be able to do the same here. Yeah, where we just say, you can't go up or down on that one. Go. Copy paste those. This guy would be if you are, so this is above, which means we would want you to be same as, and set you to be that. And if not, then you're below, set you to paste. And then we would just want to add I know, absolutely riveting stuff. Let's go back to RPG Maker 2000 and look at this stuff. Was there really not like any kind of dirt steps? Really? I mean, I guess this is the world map, so you wouldn't necessarily be going with. We'll just go with some stone steps. We're going stone steps, everybody. So then here we would just say, oh yeah, I completely forgot that was a feature in RPG Maker 2000. Where if you had created an event previous and selected a graphic, it would like retain which one you had selected. That's good time. Anyway, so then we'd do that, and we would just say event touch, below player, we would just say control switches, turn on bridge. And here we would just say you will turn off on bridge. Yeah. Just gonna full screen it. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh no. I hope that wasn't too disorienting. Turn off full screen. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right. Things are broken. Things are very broken. Let me come over here. We're gonna refresh this. Always fun to have your monitor switch to a full screen 640 by 360 resolution. Is that what this ran in? Or 640 by 480? That sounds like it. New game! I think we should be able to go below the bridges. And if we come over here, go on the bridges. Yeah, there we go. Again, probably not a great method, but it technically works. So 320. Oh, jeez. That's right. It wasn't even 640 by 480. Good times. Good times back then. Kind of lets you interact with an event at range so the shopkeeper can stand behind it, for example. Yeah, you want the exterior tile set or perhaps dungeon. 320. Crazy stuff. Well, first of all, Quenlin, I will say I'm honored to have you here. That you had discovered the bridge hack way back in the day. Because yeah, way back when, I mean, I was probably just a wee little lad of like 10 years old, 25 years ago. But this was a good time. So I do appreciate you being here and chatting about this. So yeah, so I may need a different explanation, maybe. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I'm sure there's tons of different ways you could do this, right? Like, this is, again, very specific to this exact bridge. Like, it is a one tile wide bridge. So if you want to do something crazier, you know, and if you're like, hey, like, you know, we're going to be doing something along the lines of, I don't know, what would be a good thing to use? I guess we could use... Wow, they did not have great things with their tile sets, did they? I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I love the RPG Maker 2000 tile set. It's just a little rough. A little rough around the edges. I guess we'll just use this guy. Just to get, like, a nice, solid, you know, completely full thing. So at that point, essentially, I think what we'd have to do... Yeah, so if we want to do something like this, we would have to make that taller. And then we would copy and paste these, but then we would have to say, essentially copying this same thing here. You'd just have to, like, create this crazy blob of events here that you could go on all... Oh. Oh dear. You can still walk off. Very strong, very strong. Not quite sure what's going on there. Have you... Those need to be inverted. That's what it would be. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, so you would be below and you would be same as. There we go. That would do it. Okay. I knew that had to be something. I knew that had to be something crazy. Yes, you can go below them, woo, and you can't go through. Happy days. Then you can come over here and you can be like, whoop, and you can't go off. Yeah, so you would have to have, like, these weird blobs of events going on to, like, make the bridges like that. Yeah. Anyway, there's a fun time. And I guess if you wanted to add a little bit more depth to it too, you could do something along the lines of this. Just say, let's do this guy, this guy. You're going to be above. Transparent. Delete that page. Yeah. Then you can have this nice effect there that's like transparent, showing the height of the bridge. Anyway, sorry for that random side tangent. Yeah, tonight has been an absolute tangent-riddled stream. I am so sorry. Anywho, okay, cool. So, now that we've gotten some of the stuff going on here and working, and it's been great, we do need to figure out a few more things. So, I do need to get the elemental damage working, which we have in place. So I think all I need to do is just tap into, instead of checking the cards the player is holding, it needs to check the current card that the monster is holding. Yeah. And then it will then need to check and see exactly what ID the monster is. That should be being stored. We have current room monster is 21. Let's come over to... Where is it? Dang it, I closed it. Let's come over to Documents, GitHub, Tomb of Vercilias, Images, Pictures, Monster. Okay. There we go. Monster. 21 would be... Yeah, this guy. Which is what that guy was this guy right here. So, yeah, basically, what we need to do is I need to say if it is monster... So there's going to be a few conditions that I'm going to need to add. It'll basically just say... I guess there's 5 of each monster. You've got the standard monster. You've got Pyro Monster, Geo Monster, Hydro Monster, and Necro Monster. So if you're going off of 5 variations, it's actually going to be pretty easy. We would be able to say, if you are Monster X times 5, check the cards. Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad. Would not be too bad. I'm going to be completely honest, though. I don't know if I'm going to be able to focus tonight. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I think it was just like such a busy day today. Like my brain is just like all over the place and just wired. Which I apologize for. I'm actually kind of debating just calling it here and being like, okay, did we technically get anything done that we wanted to get done? Kind of, sorta. We did get it to the point where the monster will attack with their cards based on the amount of cards they have. And that's what we've done. Oh, that's just sad. That is absolutely tragic. Holy smoke. Yeah, that's rough. That is rough. I mean, it's working. It's technically working, which is great. I assumed I would have been able to get through more tonight. This is not going well. Yeah, you definitely take a lot more damage when the monster is attacking with every single card they have. Holy smokes. You know what's funny? I was actually kind of worried that the game was going to be too easy. But now with this change, I feel like it's going to be too hard. Like, you're definitely going to be relying on potions. Crap. But I mean, on the bright side, I guess you're going to be like, okay, well, I need to come in here and increase my max HP so I can get just a little bit more HP. Let's double down on a 16. Terrible idea. Dang! It likes to do that. But again, you can also come in here and be like, okay, on Grit and Barret, 2x damage if your health is below a specific percentage. Which one is it? Swift evasion, increase your chance of escaping combat without being attacked. Increase your chance of dodging incoming enemy attacks. That's the one we need. That's what we need. Or we can just increase our health like crazy. There we go. 125 health. Try and kill me now, you freaking Iron Sentinel. Yeah, that's what I thought. Of course you got a 21. Why wouldn't he get a 21? Soft 18? No. This is not going well. Even with Axel's Wheel of Cheese, where it's increasing my elemental damage by 5%, I still cannot take this guy down. Yep. There we go. Took long enough. Took long enough. But we got there. We got there. Anywho, well, yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get through the any of the warding spells tonight. So I think my plan is I will probably try and spend a little bit of time before the next stream, fingers crossed, working on. Oh, geez, this is not looking good. Take a hit on a 14. Okay, we're set on an 18. Of course he did. Oh my god. He's got 1 health. 1 health and I cannot get him. 18. This has got to get him. Thank you. Thank you. Anywho, yes. So I think between now and the next stream, I'm going to spend a little bit of time. I'm going to see if I can get the elemental aspects working of the monster's attacks. That goes on. Oh yeah, I don't have the Void Stone. Oh, I am close to it though. Let's see, so 33, 34, 35, 36. A lot of enemies I gotta get through. What if I just try and run though? That can work? Yeah, there we go. Get the Void Stone. I guess it's literally 1 monster. There's 1 monster that I haven't killed yet. Alright, that was easy. Easy enough. Interact with the stone dials. Let's throw that guy in there. Vroom. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, yes. So I think I'm going to spend a little bit of time working on, maybe I can get the elemental stuff done before the next stream, so that on the next stream, we can actually do the warding skills. Yeah. So I was hoping to get through at least 1 of these, if not 2 or 3. Because once I get 1 of these done, the other 2 are going to be easy, because it's literally just changing a couple variables, and then we're good to go. So yeah. So I'm going to see if I can get the elemental attacks stuff done before the next stream. So we don't have to worry about that. And then we can jump in here. It'll be a good time. Yeah, be a great time. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here, for watching, for hanging out. It's been an absolute blast of a time. I will see you all on the Thursday stream. Barring any kind of craziness that happens. I don't see why there wouldn't be a stream on Thursday. So I should see you on the Thursday stream. So, yeah, hope you all have an absolutely fantastic rest of your evening, and I'll see you then, and good luck, take care, and yeah. I think that's it. For some reason, I feel like there's something I was going to mention, but I don't know what it is, so I'll see you on the Thursday stream. So, yeah, good luck, take care, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.